Ladies and gentlemen, one of the funniest men on the planet, and that is no lie, Mr. Sebastian Maniscalco, otherwise known as Sebastian, is joining the Fighter and the Kid. Sebastian, you're a man of few words. I've obviously, and I think you've said off the record that I was your biggest influence.
Absolutely.
And I want to thank you for that.
Well, not only for the comedy, just the way you kind of carry yourself, just the way your skin looks.
Thank you.
Just tremendous.
Thank you very much.
Are you younger than Callen?
I'm 42, but you wouldn't know it by looking at Callen. He looks like what? What are you?
48.
48, but you look 28.
Thank you. I hear that all the time.
Well, I mean,
you know what?
Maybe not right now.
Maybe not now. Apparently, Brendan thinks I look terrible. I slept about 4 hours.
Well,
what was I doing last night? Nothing. In fact, I was at the Comedy Store. I think you saw me. You walked by me.
Yeah, we took a photo.
Yeah. You walked by me at the Comedy Store.
Fuck? Yeah, you stopped. We talked forever. Actually took a picture.
I'm saying you saw me walk as you were leaving. I was sitting on the wall.
Yeah.
Did you have a set?
Shit. No, sure didn't. They shut the 101 down as I was coming back from my set with Rogan that I did at the Ice House. And I was like, the 101's shut down. I guess I'll just go into Hollywood and peek at what's going on in the Comedy Store. Always a mistake because there's too many people there. It's too much fun.
If you don't get sleep, you're in trouble. Because I walked in this morning.
At 48 years old, here's what happens. I've ever seen you look. At 48 years old, I may be able to do anything I want in the gym, but I have to be very careful. My machine is more delicate. Got to get my 8 hours. You just get more. You got to stretch. There's all kinds of shit. You
look like. Have you ever seen Nick Nolte's mugshot?
Yeah. My hair's all bunched up.
You just rough night.
My face looks like it needs water.
Yeah, just a nap and water. You'll be. I give it another 3 hours. You'll be fine. Get a little. You need some electrolytes, my man.
I do. Sebastian at 42 is quickly becoming a huge comic. You're selling out. You're doing theaters.
Yeah, no, it's been good. I can't complain. Things are.
What do you think was the tipping point? Because you've been doing stand up for a while, right?
Yeah, since '98. The tipping point I think was the Showtime specials that kind of put me over the top. But it's a culmination of a lot of different things, kind of leading up to this point. But the Showtime special seems to be resonating with people.
And so you're just grinding on the road, doing stand-up here locally in LA, and then the Showtime special came to you, or how did that happen? Like, how's it for us common folk? How does specials happen, especially on like Showtime or HBO, right?
Yeah, what we did the first one, we went out, we shot it, and then actually it was the same weekend Bryan did.
Same weekend,
with Levity.
Yeah.
So we shot it the same weekend, and then we shopped it around. Showtime bought it. And then did well, and then they wanted another one, so we put out another one.
Oh, nice.
So
called "Aren't You Embarrassed?"
Aren't You Embarrassed, which is the current one running. And,
Aren't you embarrassed? Sebastian's always found anybody who wears like flip flops like me right now, jeans, that's an affront to his sensibility. Sebastian has been known to come out on a casual night in fucking cufflinks.
I love it, man.
What's wrong with that?
You look good today, man. I'm glad you got your shit together.
This is my casual podcast wear.
I'm with you, man.
Right?
I've rarely seen you in
I like to dress up
t-shirt.
myself.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's an expensive t-shirt, though. Don't kid yourself. It's soft.
And the shoes match and the jeans.
Everything goes together.
See?
Right.
That's how it goes, man.
Right.
I'm trying to tell Callen.
Look, he showered this morning.
Yeah,
beautiful
man.
hair. You look like you did a head spin on your bed.
Like you woke up and broke dance on the floor.
I got some issues, guys.
I think it's important, though. Some people say, it doesn't matter really how you look. To me, it's important the way you present yourself to the world, man.
I totally agree. And I think by looking around, you see a lot of people now that's taken this almost casual Friday and bled it into the whole week. So, I don't know. I was brought up with, I came downstairs and we were going out as a family, and my mother goes, "You ain't wearing that, huh? Go get the nice slacks." So I've always had that in the back of my head.
Go get the nice slacks.
Yeah, every time you come out of your house, you're representing yourself.
I agree.
Not that you got to dress up every time, but what's wrong with a cufflink on a Tuesday night?
On a Tuesday night, I'm not mad at it, man.
Sebastian is what you'd call an Italian gentleman. At the end of the day, you remind me of the men on my mother's side. They were all Southern Italian, Sicilian, and from Napolitan. Where are you from?
My mother's family's from Napoli. My father's from Cefalù, Sicily. So,
I'm very familiar with I'm very familiar with the culture. And what people don't realize about Southern Italians is that they're very conservative. Serious work ethic. You dress like a gentleman. you always have respect, and you have your own cubic space, and you represent it to a fucking T.
Yeah.
Is your girl Italian?
She's Spanish Jew. So
Which you can call that's a good combination.
It is a good combination.
Yeah.
I've always got along with Jewish people. My best friend in college was Jewish, and I don't know, for whatever the reason, I think the Jews and the Italians are very similar in upbringing, family oriented. Love.
But the Jews own everything.
Well, they own everything,
especially in
at the end of the
Hollywood.
day.
Especially in Hollywood.
Well, they always said that the Jews, like the Jewish gangsters and the Italian gangsters, were different. The Jewish gangsters, fascinating, because a lot of the Jewish gangsters would be gangsters, but guess what they did? Their kids, first of all, they would invest in legit businesses, because they're like, you're taking all these fucking risks. Let's not only invest in legit businesses, but my kids are going to be doctors and lawyers. The Italian gangsters would put their money in the fucking ground, in mattresses.
Back into the mafia.
It
never works out.
It would just be cash. Even my grandfather carried around a big roll of cash, never used a fucking credit card.
Yeah.
It's a very different kind of interesting culture where the Jewish gangsters were like, I'm fucking killing people. Just buy all those buildings, invest in the future so my kid doesn't have to do this shit.
And we don't have to keep killing people.
Yes.
I don't know why it takes them so long to figure that out.
Well,
it never works out.
Yeah. Well, gangsters are, the gangsters are gangsters because they get off on the Jews.
That makes sense.
Sebastian, you're in the mafia.
Yeah, I assumed that being Italian mafia. Now, how'd you meet your girl?
I met her at the gym. I met her. We had a personal trainer.
Mutual. So you both shared a personal trainer?
Yeah, and I asked him. I go, "You got any good-looking girls? You
could give me?
You give me? Yeah, you put me around maybe the good-looking." He goes, "Yeah, I got one in the morning." I said, "Well, all right, it's a little early for me, but put me like kind of like behind her, and then I'll come and I'll check her out." And I saw her, and we started talking, and she was on the treadmill, and I came up next to her, and I said, You want to go out with this?
You want to go out with this?
How could she say no in your Chicago Italian accent? You want to go out with this? You want to go out with this? And did you drag your hand down your torso? Did you take both hands and just sort of gently bring them down?
In cufflinks on a treadmill? What are you doing here? Running? Yeah. I'm looking. It's hard to pick up girls at a gym, man.
Well, I had the advantage of getting introduced to her prior to asking her out. But what I would do, and this is very Italian, when I would go to the gym, I would get ready because I knew she was going to be there. So I showered, gelled. I put baby oil on. You ever do baby oil out of the shower?
No.
To lock in the moisture?
No.
Try it.
Makes sense.
Little baby oil on. So I would come in, and my trainer would be kind of stretching me, and he goes, "What the hell did you put on your body?"
Slippery.
I got baby oil.
I got baby oil.
So,
fucking greatest thing I've ever heard.
So, it was ridiculous. So I met her there, and
you smell like petroleum and possibility. You smell like petroleum and hormones. What the fuck's going on? And then so you're all oiled up.
I'm all oiled up. I smell fantastic.
Looking good.
You're undeniable.
I'm
undeniable. It's the package we call undeniable.
Yeah.
Keep going.
And then she was up on the treadmill, and she's got a sense of humor too, very sarcastic, very dry. And she's like, "Listen, I don't go out with anybody that has over 13% body fat. So work it down to about 9, and I'll think about it." So she was very, very funny, and she really got me and fell in love, and boom, got married 2 years ago, and we just celebrated our 2-year anniversary. So yeah, that's good. She's like my. It's very hard to find this in stand-up comedy, especially when you're married and whatnot. She is like my biggest fan. She comes to my shows. She sits in the back. She still laughs. I mean, it's one of those things that
my wife hasn't been to my show since 1998.
She pulled the rug from under me.
Yeah, I bring her on the road to places that she would like to visit. We just went to Vancouver. She's never been there before.
It's so great. I envy sometimes when I hear about guys like that, because kids change all that. They just have to. But my wife and I, when you don't have kids, you're a team, and they're your biggest fan. And what happens when you have kids is there's just a limit to what you can physically
bring
give.
your kids on the road at 4
they're
and
4
6.
They're in school. They got all this stuff, and so it's an adventure right now. It's fucking great.
Yeah. I mean, when we have kids, you're right. That's all gonna probably change. But
right
don't you
feel like your culture and the way you grew up, and I'm sure with her, the Spanish culture, Jewish culture, Italian culture, strong family structures. And do you feel like, it seems like you grew up with the discipline of what a relationship means. There's no confusion, right?
Well, it's funny, I did. And I thought growing up I was going to model myself after my parents' relationship, because I looked at them, I go, look at these two. They're always laughing. They're always having a good time. And then they got divorced 5 years ago. So late in life.
That's weird. What happened, do you think?
Well, my father basically strayed from the path of monogamy, fell in love with another woman, and that was the end of that. So here I am. I'm 42 years old. I got my mother who's 70. She's moved out to L.A. to be with myself, and my sister lives out here, and she's dating. 70-year-old
70.
mother. Up on websites.
Your mom's on Tinder.
That's fantastic.
Just a 70-year-old on Tinder.
Yeah.
It's like,
when you're stretching her in the morning, are you like, Mom, what the hell? She's like, it's baby.
it's baby.
Why, your mother can't have some baby? What do you think you learned there?
Do you have hard feelings towards your dad?
I did it when it first started. 'Cause me and my dad are like best friends. So but what am I gonna do? I mean, it's my dad. I'm not gonna. Things happen in life.
He's a man. Things happen in life.
Things happens. Come on. Come on.
Hey, he put his time in. He put his time in. It's never easy. But
It was a good run.
God bless both of them. How long were they married for?
3 years.
That's a long run.
tough.
It's a long run.
Being single at 70?
It's a long run, but
It's a tough road,
especially
man.
in Los Angeles. But my mother is happy. She's doing things that she's never done before. It's kind of taken out of her comfort zone. So she's in Los Angeles. She's taking vacations, and my father still lives in Chicago. So, and then they still talk, and we spend Christmas together. So that's okay. But you're right. Growing up, I did have this in my head, like, wow, that's how I kind of want my relationship to be, because me and my wife were always kind of laughing. And there's going to be times we're going to get serious, and there's peaks and valleys. But for the most part, it's easy breezy, man.
It should be.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be.
Of course it should be. It shouldn't be hard. The sense of humor is everything.
Yeah.
And when my wife is mad at me, I just drop trout and just pull out my big old angry piece, and it's amazing how it changes everything.
It's worked.
Oh yeah,
It's
if
worked
she's
this
super
long.
depressed, whatever happens, death in the family, whatever, I just peel out. Doesn't even have to be hard. Just peel out my baby bird, and I just go, "Does this make you feel better?" And she goes, "Oh."
You
and
dick
then
her down?
Yeah, dick her
You
down.
dick her down.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know how girls love that. I do that to her sometimes when she's depressed or something. I'll just be sitting there on the couch, and I'll just yank my shorts to the side and just pull out my shitty baby bird, and I'll go, "Does this make you feel better?" She's just like, she can barely.
She probably hates
She
you.
tries to vomit.
Yeah.
She literally is like, I'm like, "Oh, sorry. I'm always here for you, babe. If you want to work this."
Do you have this sarcasm and this playfulness with your wife?
Never ends.
Never ends.
There's. I wish I could say it was an act. Obviously, I don't live with Bryan, but we've been on the road together. I'm with him 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
It never ends.
Well, she told me we were in
Never,
Costa
ever
Rica,
ends.
and she asked me how it was going, and I said, man, drugs, hooks, it's great. She goes, she goes, wear a condom. I go, condoms are gross. Ew. I had the whole text thread. She goes, well, at least dip your dick in a solution. I'd say white vinegar and egg whites. And I was like, all right. So she's a silly goose, man. She loves to play around.
Yeah,
she's going to be really mad when I do give her an STD. And here's the thing.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah, take antibiotics. Don't be a fucking baby. A little baby wants an antibiotic.
Baby oil
Talking
cures
about
everything.
it locks in the moisture, and this gets rid of the
Lots
germs.
in the moisture.
And
So,
a man can enjoy himself. I've been married here 7 years.
so you have the Showtime special, which is big. So what's next? Like as a comedian, it's just on to the next special, or
Yeah, we're doing another special next year. We're going to shoot it. And then in the meantime, just bouncing around the country doing stand-up comedy. And
Sebastian is a guy, and I have to say this, and I'm Dove Davidoff. When you see Dove Davidoff go into a room to watch another comic, he doesn't do that with anybody but Sebastian.
Really?
Other comics come in to watch him. I remember when you were going up, and we were all of us. You're talking about veteran comics, veteran headliners. Everybody there is fucking a killer. And it was Dove, me. I think it might have been Brett Ernst. It was just a bunch of guys that I've come up with who are all great seasoned comics. And there was a buzz that Sebastian's going up. And I remember Dove. I was like, what the fuck? And Dove couldn't wait. And so we all stood in the back and watched our boy. Now, when you have comics on that level coming up and watching another comic, you know that you're dealing with a real fucking killer.
That's nice of you to
It's
say.
true.
I love when comedians come in the room to watch. It's nice to be kind of
By your peers.
yeah.
You've always been funny, but you hit a different level of funny. It was interesting. I don't know when that happened. It happens, but when do you think you really found your voice? Like, how long did it take you?
Well, I always had a very strong point of view,
Yeah.
but then you start really laser focusing on that. Like I had a strong distaste for human behavior and the way people behave, so I've taken that. And that's one segment of my comedy, but I also thought I found my footing when I started talking about my family, particularly my father, and growing up in this immigrant family. And my father came when he was 15 years old to the United States, and then, brought this mentality of, work ethic. This is how you kind of live your life. And as soon as I started talking about these weird scenarios that I grew up with, particularly with my father and my family, then I really start feeling really comfortable on stage to really touch anything. You all right? and
Don't fucking sneeze like that. Don't ever sneeze when Sebastian's in the room. Very rude. That's the kind of behavior he's talking about. I don't know what the man. I want to apologize personally for my producer.
It's okay.
Carry on.
So yeah, I'd say a good 5-6 years ago, I felt really comfortable to talk about what happened today. Like sometimes when you go on stage, you do stuff that, you're just familiar with. But I kind of broke out of that and go, you know what, let's talk about today's activities. And as soon as I started doing that.
It's funny to hear him talk. I don't know why.
I know. He talks about when he sees a girl with a foot in a sandal. And she's got a hoof, and she didn't bother to pumice the back of the heel.
Yeah, I look at stuff like that, and
details,
just details, and how people, I don't know. I'm always kind of looking around, and sometimes it just finds me these strange.
Mm-hmm. Like, give me an example of the things that bug you when you walk around. How do you feel about hipsters?
Well, I was just in Portland. Right.
They're everywhere out
and
there.
it's like, hey,
it's like the Walking Dead of hipsters.
Yeah, it's just like
the facial hair and the dirt.
And just no motivation. I felt like not doing anything when I got there.
Callen and I call that low blood pressure.
Yeah,
low blood
pressure.
pressure.
Low blood sugar,
yeah.
And low blood pressure.
Yeah,
both. Yeah. What are you, a bunch of alligators with human skin on you? Can somebody move?
Can someone please do something?
What is this? It looks like a city of mollusks. Like, get a personality.
It looks like a bunch of sloths with beards.
Yeah, literally. Just it's the town of sloths. Can somebody get some energy and punch somebody else in the face?
Man. Yeah.
It's a weird thing. It's a lot of white people in sensible shoes with terrible
You have a problem
tattoos.
with hipsters. Even yesterday, we were at this nice restaurant, and there's a bunch of hipsters. We were going over our first live show, breaking things down. We're in the middle of it, and Callen goes, I don't know, man. This fucking hipster movement's really bothering me.
Yeah, I'll tell you what it is.
What? They look nice.
Yeah.
Nah, fuck them.
No, yeah. Here's my problem. Well,
hey, man.
My problem with hipsters is there's an irony to it, right? So the idea is, it's sort of like they're dressing in a certain way. I'm dirty. My hair's this way. There's affectation everywhere. It's like I just happen to have this shitty T-shirt from the '70s that's got Starsky and Hutch on it. Look, and it's all this sort of like it's a preemptive strike against actually caring about anything, like where nothing has any meaning.
Yeah.
It's all got to be sort of like I'm way too cool to actually care and be attached to
But their
something.
clothes are really expensive.
They are.
Like their jeans.
They are.
Salvage
It's a
jeans.
cultivated
Yes.
irony. It's a cultivated sort of like,
Oh, that
I'm,
look
I'm
is
too
effort.
cool for school.
Yes.
Of course
that
it's
look
effort.
is a serious effort.
A lot of effort.
Yeah.
And you kind of go, you are acting as though you have nothing meaningful to contribute to your own culture. There's this sort of this glib sort of idea that, well, it's cynical. It's actually a cynical way to.
I don't mind them. I like the variety. I like that they came up with some different
It's
shit.
unthreatening. It's not threatening. So you and I feel comfortable because it's not threatening. But there's something about being a comic on your level, being a fighter athlete on your level, where to get there, you had to really fucking care. And every single day, like just this podcast, everything about our life, it's work. Like you have to work really hard. That's why I believe, like when you dress well, there's a discipline to looking clean, neat, and put together.
Oh, it's effort.
It is, but it's also respect. There's a level of respect, and it shows a level of commitment to trying to be better every day. And I'm not saying hipsters don't feel that way. I'm just saying there seems to be what I object to is the idea that sort of cynical notion that you can do anything. Like, what's it all mean? Doesn't matter.
They annoy you.
Yeah.
Is it a look or is it a lifestyle?
It's a lifestyle, I think.
Is it? I think it's a look.
Maybe. I'm being a little unfair here, but I think what my other visceral reaction to is also like, man, I can't rely on you guys if the shit hits the fan. Like I'm not looking for a bunch of I know this is silly, but it's an irrational fear. As the enemy's coming over the wall, I can't look to the hipsters. It's this.
What
weird
enemy
thing.
is gonna come over the wall? Aliens or
I don't
ISIS
know.
is never getting through.
The Mongols are out there on their horses.
Yeah. Well, don't fucking call me.
And don't call me either.
Don't call me.
I'd be
ya.
like, shit, Brendan.
Nah.
Hey, where's Bryan? He does jujitsu sometimes.
But some hipsters are like clean and they look good, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying hipsters. I'm just saying
No, you told me yesterday you hate
the
them.
notion behind your dirty, your kind of like cool, weird hair and your jewelry, and it just takes a lot of work. And I just go,
but you're contradicting yourself in regards to takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work to be presentable and look nice. Doesn't it take a lot of work to get to that?
Maybe for the wrong reason. You know what it is?
It's a lot of work for the wrong reason.
I'm going to quote a woman named Christy Wampole, who said, a professor who said, they're negotiating the age-old problem of individuality, not with concepts, ideas, and accomplishments, but actually with accoutrement. With what they wear, they present.
You made me want to read.
Yeah.
I'll
send it to you.
Yeah,
just in general.
You do you normally quote people like that?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah, Christy Wampole. Yeah, I read.
He's smart, dude.
Yeah.
You got like a memory, man.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
She wrote an article called "How
Bryan
to Live Living Without Irony." Yeah.
He reads.
Yeah.
And he wants You know how vegans are like, oh yeah, I'm vegan. Cool. What's your name? You know, it's the first. Bryan wants you to know he reads.
No, I want you to read. That's why I want people to read, because there are ideas that are stuck in books that I want to get out into.
You get sad when we're on a plane and everyone's listening to music or watching TV and not reading.
Because I'll take Brennan, I make him sit there with the New York Times, and because Brennan's so smart, but he, as a football player, a D1 football player, there just wasn't a lot of relevance to understanding how the world works. Just how governments work and things like that, and the relevance that it plays in your life. Yeah. And that's my job as somebody who's, 16 years older and has had the benefit of a fairly good education. Because I think that there are ideas that are stuck in books that need to get into our heads because they can solve the problems. Most of us are spending most of our time, hacking at this branch when the root is over here.
Well, this day and age, people want information they want quick. They just want the little cliff notes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but they're dealing with events and points of view.
No, I'm with. I'm on board.
Not ideas.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I know you are.
But I'm saying they want 140 characters Twitter style.
Yes.
That's how people are getting their news. There's no research. They're just seeing what other people are saying.
Yeah.
Summarized.
But I agree. They do want that. But how nice is it to hear a guy quote a professor and give you you don't get that on Instagram.
Never.
Me and my wife were talking about this. We've noticed that we've kind of been lost in our phones lately. She gets up, she's on the phone. I get up, so it's like
a vicious cycle.
Yeah, I said let's get out of this. We went on vacation, and what they had on at the hotel was like a 3-4 page, like almost a paper condensed. And I said, pick an article, we'll read it, and we'll discuss the article. Put the phone down. It's
great.
Just to kind of.
It's great.
It's ruining relationships.
Yeah,
man. I'm telling you. Go out to eat to a nice restaurant. I was at a steakhouse, new steakhouse in Brentwood. Amazing place, and there's couples everywhere. I would say over half couples on their phone. Oh yeah, staring down like this.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Stay fucking home. Man.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So for sure, then this is for everyone. Find a person who's more interesting than your phone. If you're more interested in your phone than your date.
There's so much to think about, and there's so many things that are so fascinating in the world that are going on all the time.
I'm assuming your wife takes care of herself. Otherwise, you wouldn't be with her.
Yeah, she's
not the type who's gonna go out to lunch and dress like a freaking bum.
No, she's an artist. So
is she?
Yeah.
What kind of artist?
She paints him. She paints his torso.
Naked.
Self-portraits.
Yeah. She has 1,000 of them. It's all creepy.
She does large abstract art, very colorful, very good. Her name is Lana Gomez. You could check her out online.
Lana Gomez.
Yeah.
She have an Instagram?
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Well, for her painting or just private? You don't want to probably give out her private one.
Oh, no. She's if you go to lanagomez.com, there's all of her Instagram, Twitter handle.
Sweet. LanaGomez.com.
Yeah. So, check her out. She's So she's very into design, clothing, the whole thing, well put together. You know, every time she leaves the house, she's very, you know, hats and this and that. So
a real sense of proportion, symmetry.
Yeah, a lot of symmetry.
Color.
Yeah.
And texture.
Yeah, she's.
Brendan's a little bit like that.
Yeah.
If he was a gal, he'd have even more than the 200 pairs of shoes he has.
You have 200
currently
pairs?
living in his closet.
What are they mainly dress shoes, or is it
a combination of everything? Jordans, common projects. My favorite brand right now is called Greats. They're out of Brooklyn. They're handmade, Brooklyn, Italian leather. Man, just there's kind of this new movement of shoes where
from Brooklyn cows.
Yeah, Brooklyn cows.
Yeah,
where
best cows in the world.
Where I'm into stuff like you can't get at the stores, like they ditch the middleman, so there's no high price on it.
Oh,
you know?
gotcha.
Yeah.
So
and this shoe company called the Greats, they're like that. It's a guy who started, and you can only get them online. So they don't. There's no hike up in the price.
I sent Brendan pictures of shoes in Denver. I got to step my game up and be a little bit more, like I got to start dressing better. And I took a picture like a girl, and I sent them to Brendan. And I was with my wife, and I didn't even trust her point of view. I sent them to Brendan. I said, "Are these cool?" And he goes, "Yes, I bought them."
It almost ruins my day. It almost ruins my day when I walk up and he has sandals on with jeans. It will fuck my entire week up.
It's the first thing I saw.
Right?
The first thing he said, he goes, flip-flops. As I pad in. I'm a little, hey, you know what?
You're off your game.
I might start stepping my game up with my clothing too. I'm going to start wearing better shoes. When I wear shoes with a leather sole, I feel and act differently. I walk different. You feel different. There's a different kind of grounding to it.
I'd wear a suit every day to the show if I could.
Yeah.
Nice suit.
Why not?
Nice.
Why not? Like you guys were talking to your producer before the show about some things that you guys were doing. As you're talking to the producer in flip-flops, do you feel at all a lack of confidence?
Right?
I would
That's
just
what I'm saying.
I'm sitting here and you're sitting there talking, and I go, "How do you take this guy serious?
How can you take him serious? Yes, yes. You're my favorite guest of all time. That's what I'm saying. We have this big presentation coming. He has flip-flops on. If I'm the head of Fox, you come on flip-flops, I'll just go, "No, we'll do this tomorrow. Go find some nice shoes. We'll do this tomorrow." I can see the
guy's toes.
And people say don't judge people, but it's like, fuck,
you could tell a lot by how a person presents themselves. As soon as you come in with flip-flops, you're like, down 50%.
I'm done.
That's it.
I took some wind out of your sails the minute you saw me.
As soon as
it's a bummer.
The first thing I saw through the window outside, I didn't even know it was you. I go, "Look at this with the jeans and the flip-flops." And
look at this fucking guy.
Look at this.
You want some of this? You want to date this? You want to take some of this out? Then change the fucking shoes. You don't come padding in with your fucking sandals.
Your wife lets you get away with it, though. I think that's part of the problem. Because if I dress like shit, my girl would be like, whoa.
Oh, really?
Whoa. Oh, my God. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I don't want a girl that's going to let me dress like shit.
That bothers me about my wife. She has no point of view. She'll let hair grow in my ears. You know? I'm like, hey, I can't see all the angles. How about grooming me up a little bit? I looked at my back. I was like, I look like Orlovsky before he shaved down. What the fuck is going on? I put my back. I didn't think I had any hair on my back. I thought it was a hairless back. I put my.
I
was resting my back ever so gently on the back of my kitchen chair, and I could feel the bristles of my hair touching, and I went, "You fucking kidding me?
In Costa Rica,
I got hair up and down my back right now."
In Costa Rica, I told you,
I'm
man.
48 years old.
You got it like a ducktail down on your back.
Yeah.
On the lower back. It's
I got a little bunny tail.
You got a ducktail.
Yeah. Well, my wife doesn't want me to shave that. She likes a little hair on the lower back, which is the strangest thing I've ever heard. And I've had that from a lot of women who are like, "No, don't shave that part."
Oh, I've never heard that.
Yeah. My lats, you know my lats fan the fuck out.
Yeah.
You know how they fan out.
Yeah.
They call me the eagle. Well, that area, which is a vast area, I need to take a
I bet
risk.
you were a real beast though before you met your wife. Being on the road.
No, I was never that type of guy.
I've been with Sebastian. He was never like and girls liked him, but you're a good-looking dude. I'm assuming the girls liked you, especially on the road. They did, but he was always I never saw you, and if you ever did, I never saw it. You were again. This is the Italian. He's a quiet assassin. If it happened very quietly with a silencer. Nobody saw it. Gloves,
Italian
the whole
style.
thing, and he kept walking. When Sebastian makes a hit, he just walks out, and he's reaching into a paper bag. You think he's grabbing a muffin. That's all you hear. Doom. Down the guy goes. He's got his gloves, and the bag is handed off to another guy walking the other direction.
What do they call like comedy groupies? Like, is there a name for it, like laugh lizards or something?
I call them a good time. Yeah, I've called them a good time.
This is the thing, you know. I mean, I really don't hang out with too many fighters or athletes. I hang out with mainly Bryan's friends, a lot of comics, actors, stuff like that. Most of the comics and actors are dark, especially if they're successful. But you came up with a good family.
Yeah, I never had
So
it.
when were you like, oh, I want to be a comedian? Because
just-
usually it's from getting picked on, or there's something where making people laugh is like their version of being athletic or something like that, you know?
Yeah, there was no darkness growing up. There was no depression. It was very, normal middle class upbringing in the northwest suburbs of Chicago or Illinois, and always liked making people laugh. I was not really this class clown. I've actually despised the class clown, the guy that got up and
Cheap laughs.
Yeah, and I'd be in the back going, "Sit down." Huh? Nobody's laughing at this. So,
hey everybody!
Sit down.
No, again,
Sit the fuck down.
Again, he kept his mouth shut until it counted. He's a laser beam. He's a laser beam.
So yeah, I always came home and enjoyed talking to my family around. For family, growing up in an Italian family, dinner was a big thing. So you just sat down, you talked to your parents, my sister, everybody was kind of there and goofing on each other.
We've lost that in this country.
Nah, there's none of that anymore.
Fuck, that's so important.
Yeah.
Super important.
It's so important to have a family dinner, to sit down.
Well, here, you got a family.
Yeah.
Is there an effort at all to go, sit down, we're going to eat together?
Yes. Now,
you guys sit down and eat together? You've always done that?
My wife cooks, and we sit down, and I sit with those kids. And you listen to them, and we talk. Because without that, man, there's no point in anything.
Mm-hmm. My dad forced us to.
Oh,
he
dude,
said, "I don't give a what you guys got going on. Dinner, we all sit together."
In Europe, it's lunch. You have your lunch, you have a big lunch, and then you have a siesta. You take 2 hours off in places like Spain. You take 2 hours off in Greece, and siesta. You're the middle of your day is very important.
Technology, man, like you said, with the cell phones and iPads and TV
Fast food.
now. Fast food.
We lose connection.
It's not good.
Cultures have been, if you look at cultures that have evolved over thousands of years, where sitting down over a meal is fucking everything. In the Arab world, in the Latin world, in the Italian, in the European world,
we do it,
100%.
but we do it different. Like we don't have our families around, but you and I go to dinner all the time with groups of people.
Yeah.
It's just a dinner.
It's
and you break bread.
so crucial. It's crucial to me. It's I
But
promise
LA's
you.
tough. LA's tough to
Yes.
find a group that you like, a group of guys that you want to be around. It really is, man. LA's tough.
It is, and it's also expensive, but it's so important to me. Like, I'm never happier than when I'm with a group of people and I'm drinking good wine and having a laugh with a good group of guys.
That's all I like to do. I don't need vacations. I don't need to go to Costa Rica or Hawaii. I don't need all that
No,
shit,
man.
man.
No, man.
A good restaurant, good group of friends here. I'm solid.
Yeah.
I'm solid.
There's nothing better.
Nothing better.
You talk about finding a good group of guys to go out with. Now
You're in the club, by the way.
Yeah.
By the way, I love wine, and I know you're a big wine guy. You big wine?
Yeah, I like wine.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and Rogan told me you're all over the wine.
Yeah.
He's a wino.
We love wine.
Yeah.
Got married up in Napa, so
it's my favorite place.
Oh, it's beautiful.
My favorite place. Hold on, that's
Beautiful.
Napa right now. Sorry. Yeah.
Do you find it hard to find a good couple to go out with?
Painfully so.
Yeah.
Because you're dealing with two different people. Women are very strange with the way they get together. One of the things they say about women and men is this: boys, you can take a bunch of boys in a group and throw a ball in the middle of them, and they just start fucking playing and they make friends. Women, when you take a young girl and you put her into a new group of girls, it's really hard for her to get in. And the reason is girls bond over experience and past stories. So the girl is kind of left out in the cold.
Kind of like crocodiles.
Yes, it's awful. Boys, man, you just assimilate. Girls are
what's
clicky.
Well, what's tough is like what you're saying, finding good couples. Like if I go on a double date and it's not one of my friends, and I got to sit with two, and this guy I don't really know, and he wants to talk about fighting the whole time. Like my friends aren't going to ask me about fighting the whole time. Oh, how'd you get started? Fuck, man. I don't want to go to dinner. It's a job interview.
No, man.
I have to go over my bio. So I don't go.
Yeah.
Good luck. Get me there.
No, I'm the
If
same.
I don't arrange it, good luck.
I got a bad attitude with that stuff, too.
Hate
And my
that.
wife gets mad at me, but it's just like, there are very few people like anything, and on her side, too, it's probably hard. Women they have their own agenda. They have their own thing that they connect with.
Yeah,
you guys are having trouble.
Yeah, it's tough to find a good couple to go out with, laugh, goof around with. We finally, I think, found one. But like, I'm more like, I don't really assimilate well. I'm not like in your example with the guy at the ball. You throw the ball, and all the guys kind of play with the ball. I was the kid on the outside going, I ain't playing with no ball. So
You're a comic. I mean, also, that's part of your job to be on the outside looking in.
Yeah,
I mean, welcome to being a real stand-up comic.
Well, I always have this filter that I kind of look through when I go out. And if somebody does something wrong on the date or how they behave, even the way they order, like we went out with a couple the other night, and the way they were ordering bothered me, like asking a lot of questions.
Oh, that drives me nuts, bro. You and I are the same.
Pick the steak and let's get on with it.
Yes!
We don't need that. Because I waited tables for years.
Oh, you did?
So I have this disdain for people who like dissect the menu and what's in that.
Where'd you wait tables? I forgot. You did. You waited tables at the Four Seasons when I knew you.
Yeah.
It's so great to see you now.
Here in LA?
He's killing it. He's killing it. He's becoming one of the biggest comics in the country.
Yeah, he's huge.
And you waited tables at the Four Seasons for years.
8 years. 1998 to 2005. 7 years.
2005 all the way up to 2005 waiting tables.
Yeah.
Were people pretty shitty to you being a waiter?
No, it wasn't the shittiness. It was just you got to see these different behaviors of people and how they interact with a server. Some people didn't even know I was the server for the whole experience. I'd come up to the table like, could you get our waiter? I've been waiting on you for the last 2 hours. Don't even look up, no eye contact.
I hate that.
So, I make it a point every time I go out and wait, hey, what's going on? How long you been working here? Just to get like a little rapport going.
Of course. I do it all the time. I mean, you just have to wait tables for once and you know that.
Yeah. So, just little idiosyncrasies that I see in people and my wife's like, just be a little bit more open and don't get so turned off by one little thing. See, because I got a problem. One little thing, I'm done.
Me too.
That's it. It's
There's
over.
no turning back.
Brendan's the same way.
The exact same way, man.
Me, it takes, you have to kill somebody in front of me.
I'll tell Bryan. I'm like, dude, that's a bad dude. Why'd he do? He did something a little wrong.
Yeah.
I'm like, Bryan, he's fucking done.
It's very hard for me to really, I don't even notice. I'm just so focused on, the guy's got great teeth. What the fuck?
One little thing, man.
Yeah, he's got people down in his basement
You're
tied
dead
up, but
to
he's got
me.
great teeth. Well, you can't focus on that. Rogan always gives me a hard time for that. Rogan has the antenna. He can just be like, guy's a fucking asshole. I'm like, what? He's been a friend of mine for 10 years.
man.
What are you talking about? Yeah.
It's weird, right?
Yeah. You pick up on stuff.
Oh, yeah.
My wife's like you. She's very open and doesn't really see a lot. And for whatever the reason, I don't know. I'm surprised that you don't have it because a lot of comedians have this.
I do have it, but I end up kind of acknowledging it after I've lent the guy $10,000. You know what I mean?
I don't know if you have it. I don't think you have it.
No, I probably don't.
He just doesn't. He's one of the few comics that doesn't have it.
Well, I think I know what the psychological reason for that is. I think that I was
You want the best.
I was moved around so often, and as a kid, and I had to make friends so quickly. So remember when you live in 7 different countries up until the age of 14, then you're shipped off to boarding school. Then you go to college in a different place. What happens is you get really good at making friends very quickly. And I think the way I did it was I would make people laugh, but also I got really, really good at looking at somebody and in a split second knowing what they were ashamed of and what they were proud of. I can talk to people, and I think I'm as good as anybody I can pick up immediately on what embarrasses you, what you're ashamed of, and what you are showcasing. And what I would do as a kid, and I don't know where I picked it up, but I would do 2 things, and I'm going to tell you why I know this. One is I would bring to the fore what they were clearly proud of. So if I saw a guy who worked out, I'd be like, what the fuck do you do, man? You look like you're in great shape. And I was doing it. And the other thing, I had a corporate Tony Robbins guy. He makes a fortune. And he said, do you know that you mirror really, really well? And I said, what are you talking about? And he goes, you mirror on the level of somebody I've never seen. And I said, what do you mean? He said, when you're talking to somebody new, you are doing their mannerisms. And they're seeing themselves, and you make them very comfortable. So if the guy's folding his arms, or if he's standing a certain way, or he's talking a certain way, somehow I start behaving that way a little bit.
You're a chameleon.
Whatever it is, I didn't know that, but I clearly evolved into doing that because I had to. It was like a survival mechanism
to fit in.
Yes. And so, and he teaches this, and he said, you're a level fucking A expert at that shit. And I didn't even realize I was doing it. But
I've seen it backfire a little sometimes.
Sure.
Sometimes there'll be a big black guy come like, what do you play sports? Nah, man. Oh, that's cool.
Cool.
What are you, athletic?
Well, I figured you were black, so.
You're black.
Yeah, I'm really awkward. Oh, I figured you were black. What do you mean? And I would leave it at that.
Well, when you guys first met, did you feel that very comfortable way of talking? Because he does. He makes people feel very comfortable.
Well, he's like me, though. We hit it off in the weirdest way that way.
Yeah.
Like, we hit it off because we found the same things were funny.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was what it was with us, I think. But you're also very, very, even though you had a different upbringing, your ability to assimilate and do the same thing is, like, you're very sensitive to human dynamics.
Yeah.
Which I've never seen in an athlete, because you don't usually have to develop that, I don't think.
I don't know how you got it.
I mean, maybe you do. I don't know.
I don't know.
You know, or maybe that was just more of what you were interested in. My father had an employee, and he'd been his employee for, 7 years. And we were playing golf, and I noticed when he walked, took me about 5 seconds or whatever, that when he walked, his foot would dart out like he looked like a half a penguin. His foot would just shoot out to the side as he would walk. Yeah. And I went, man, it's weird how Ken's foot shoots out like that. This is a weird way to walk. And my father went, what? And I said, his foot. My father said, never noticed. You worked 7 years you've been together. 7 years you didn't notice that he walks like a fucking duck? How the fuck did you not notice that? And that's when that was. I remember that was a moment when I realized, oh, you and I see the world so differently.
Super different.
You just see it
but
differently.
I also think you're told to view the world a certain kind of filter, like you were saying, because like in sports, especially football or fighting, I mean, everything's supposed to be kind of intense, right? Like, you're not supposed to be sensitive. You're not really supposed to be that creative.
Right.
You're not supposed to be funny.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're supposed to, if it's fighting, you're supposed to kick guys' heads off, listen to rap and heavy metal, and then, I don't know, then go home and then do it, repeat.
Yeah,
that's about it, man.
There's a soul. It seems like your soul gets numb to that amount of training. It really does.
Well, I don't know. Don't you have to have a bit of sensitivity in being an athlete to go into a fight and be sensitive enough to kind of find out what this guy? You have to be aware, sensitive to where he's going to kind of come at you. You know, there has to be.
But
you can't be just a bull,
but
right?
You can't be a bull, but that it's a very animal instinct. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference between being sensitive to the world and people like that than being sensitive inside the octagon, inside the cage. It's a very animalistic feel. You know what I'm saying? And I could never really, like, I couldn't tell people how I felt until I got this platform, because, you know, we'd be in group training or we get done, I'd be close to a fight, and I was getting no sleep. I'd be terrified, man. And everyone else around me talking about, I can't fucking wait to get in there, man. I can't wait to rip his head off. I'm like, God, even the word rip his head off, like, dude, chill, man. Relax. That's stressing me out. Yeah. There's no ripping heads off. There's none of that. Or like the real intense, like before you walk out, the highlight video of people getting KO'd. I fucking hated that stuff.
You're so weird, though, because as sensitive as you are, I can get you into killer mode.
No.
You're competitive.
I'm competitive.
Yeah, you're very
There's
competitive.
There's a big difference.
That's
I'm
interesting.
crazy competitive.
Yeah, you are.
But I'm not violent. I'm not angry.
Yeah. But if you're playing beach volleyball and somebody says, you're not good, you're like, I have to win now.
Yeah. There's a difference, I think.
Yeah.
Well, you ever in a fight and you feel the other man's power and go, fuck, this is gonna be
all the time.
This is gonna be. See, I mean, once I felt that, I'd go, that's it, I'm done. It's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? I mean, you get a shot to the rib, don't you go, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, right? There's been a few fights where I'm like, holy fuck.
Sebastian has a UFC fighter.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that?
The fuck you doing?
I got baby. I lock the moisture in. I shower up. I got cologne on. You got to kick me in the rib?
In the rib? Yeah, no, there's been a few fights. There was a while ago. I haven't felt it in a while, but there's a fight when I was on the Ultimate Fighter with Marcus Jones. He's huge. He's like 6'8", played in the NFL.
I remember that guy.
Biggest dude in the house. Jesus. And I remember he got full mount, and he hit me, and I was just like, oh, I've never been hit. I was like, holy fuck. I remember thinking, I can't take too many of those. Let's get the fuck out of here.
You won, though, right?
Yeah, I knocked him out. He was in full mount. I ended up just like hulking my way out of it, getting it in by the throat and standing up.
Jesus.
Because I was terrified. Because he hit me. I was like, oh, I don't hit like that. I don't hit like that at all. I better get out of here.
I gotta get out of here.
Then you get that freak strength, you know?
Yeah.
And I grabbed him by the neck and just stood up and knocked him out. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And then the only other time I felt like that was against LeVar Johnson, who was a big guy who was on steroids, tested positive for steroids. Yeah. He could have finished probably 5th in Olympia this year.
Strongest man in the world.
We were weighing in. He's just jacked. And I was like, oh, my God, this guy's on steroids. And
didn't you say that to somebody in the weigh-in?
I said that to the Joe Silva, and I said that to my manager and my entire team. I said he's on steroids. Someone should for sure test him. But then I fought him,
and he was
a knockout artist. And I remember taking him down. I had him in it's kind of my thing was the anaconda choke, and I had him in the choke, but he was so big it was blocking the choke. His shoulders blocking the submission.
Nobody gets out of your anaconda.
Never.
Dude. Holy shit.
And he was punching me while getting choked like this, and I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. Abort mission. Abort mission. Abort mission. I just remember like, that's not Snowflake. That's not Snowflake. And then I got out, and then I was like, I'm not fucking standing with this dude. Took him down like.
Didn't he say to you, come on, man, stand up?
Yeah, on the ground. I just kept, because my grappling was way better than his, so I kept taking him down, but it was hard to get a finish because he's so goddamn big. And he kept saying, come on, motherfucker, let's stand up. Give him a show. I was like, why don't you learn jiu-jitsu, motherfucker? Yeah, literally talking during the fight.
He's a badass, isn't he? Doesn't he run with a rough crew? Like he runs with a like a biker crew or something?
Yeah, rough dude.
Yeah, he's like a real rough dude. Like might be a gangster, you know? And you're fighting a fucking gangster who's that big, who knocks dudes out like you cannot withstand that.
One of the hardest
barrage.
hitters to enter the octagon.
Really?
I think he could hit a bull and knock a bull out.
Yeah, he was known for that. Good guy though. He was nice to me.
Yeah.
I was at the time at an M6. We were fighting the Honda Center, and I was going to dinner with my family the night before the fight, and he's walking out of the Fighters Hotel, and I'm pulling out, and it was an all-black M6, black rims, dope car. And he was new to the UFC, so he wasn't making a lot of money. You could tell, like, you know, he's knocking dudes out to pay the bills.
Yeah.
And he's with a group of girls, and someone knocks on my window. It's him. I'm like, motherfucker. And I didn't know what type of dude he was. And he goes, hey, let's bet cars. I'm like, what? And he goes, if I knock you out, I get this fucking M6. I'm like, well, what the fuck do you have? You know, I was like, what the fuck? He's with all these girls, so I didn't want to be get embarrassed. So I was like, all right, I'm game. I'm like, well, what the fuck? Yeah, deal. What the fuck do you have? And he goes, that piece of shit over there. It's a beat up F-150, like 1998 F-150. I went, nah. Rolled up the windows and just fucking sped off. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah,
That's
man.
Great.
So
it's so weird to have a rapport with somebody before you're going to actually go out there and try to knock him the fuck out.
I hated it.
Because it's impossible not to make that personal. Because I remember when you fought Matt Mitrione, who was such a threat, and you went to touch gloves, and he goes, no, after the fight. Mm-hmm. It's a tough way to make a living.
Yeah, man, it's brutal. I watch those things, and I go, this is unbelievable.
Well, it's better to do it on a mic. It's better you prefer the mic, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Yeah, you prefer the mic, don't you?
I said to Brennan, I go, when you retire, will you spar? He goes, I'll never spar again. Never in my life.
No one will ever touch my face again.
Never again.
That's it, huh?
We just did it on such a hard level.
But why would you? Why, even if you're not a professional fighter, why would you get hit?
Dude, when I saw you spar, when I saw the level of how you guys train, and then you almost broke your fucking neck. No. I literally, I couldn't believe how violent it was. I couldn't believe how you could do that.
People don't understand it.
They see so scary. It's so fucking scary because you're talking about giant men who are trained, who are hitting, like, really trying to knock you out. And that headgear doesn't do dick. Mm-hmm. It just stops you from getting cuts. Yeah, it prevents you from getting cut.
Is training as a fighter harder than football?
Not even comparable. It doesn't match up just because, you know, football's been around so long. They have it down to science, basically, you know, and the money that you get from competing in football, you're kind of set. Even afterwards, you're set. Even if your head gets fucked up, you're set. In fighting, there's really no, you know, I mean, guys have head coaches, but it's not like the NFL where if I don't show up to practice or I show up late, or even Division I football, you're going to get fined, right? Mm-hmm. There's going to be penalties. you're basically your own boss in this world. So if I don't show up, hey, whatever, man. You know, it's like it's tough. It's tough, man. And there's no off season. The sport's moving and everyone's getting better so fast. Like I've been fought for since December. Let's say I fight next month, the game's already passed me by, man. I'd have to spend a lot of much training to get to where the game's at now.
Crazy.
It's so new, and everyone's getting so much better, fast and evolving. The game's changing. So from UFC 195 to UFC 200, people are so much better. It's not even comparable. UFC 100, UFC 200, what? It's not even comparable.
A giant difference.
Yeah, so guys are getting better all the time. So, football, guys they're getting bigger, faster, stronger, but the game stays the same.
Do you think that
X's and O's?
Do you think that fighting will get to a point where, as an MMA fighter, it's like football, where it doesn't evolve anymore? Sort of like where you get to a point where there's a foolproof way to fight MMA versus, it becomes its own sport.
You want my honest opinion on this? I think MMA as a sport is as big as it's ever going to get. I think we're going to see it on the downslide.
Wow.
I think numbers prove that.
That makes a lot of sense.
I think numbers prove that. I think the athletes and fighters are going to get better and evolve, but I think it's tough as Americans or just people in general to really embrace it.
Yeah.
Because it's, I love the sport. I fucking love it, man. But like, as much as it evolves, my mom's never gonna jump on board.
Yeah.
But my
it's
mom
not
will
gonna be
watch
a family
football.
thing, right? It's not gonna be a Sunday.
You're not gonna sit around and be like, hey, let's watch fucking John Jones rip this dude's face off.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
It's hard to adapt to, man.
Yeah.
I think they've done well, and internationally it's growing, but in the States, it's not. There's a reason Ronda Rousey's fighting in Australia. There's a reason Ronda Rousey fought in Brazil. The numbers internationally are huge. The numbers in America, and Evan, correct me if I'm wrong, but the numbers in America, it's not like they're growing exponentially.
Yeah.
It's like football. The NFL's so big, a preseason game the ratings destroys everything.
Yes.
A preseason game.
Yeah. It's not even
UFC's not doing that. Free UFC Fight Night's not doing that.
Right.
And this isn't a UFC problem. This is an MMA problem. So MMA outlets, don't give me heat for this. Bellator just had its lowest ratings ever under Coker.
Wow.
That was a huge event.
Wow.
It's an MMA problem. It's not a UFC problem.
Right.
But fighting of this magnitude, it's tough, man. You can bring Reebok, you can bring Harley Davidson, all these mainstreams you want. But at the end of the day, it's tough for people to watch. I have a son on the way. He won't even fucking know Dad fought in the UFC. I wouldn't even I'm gonna race everything. Highlights. There will be no pictures. There's gonna be a picture of me and Bryan on mics like this around the house. There will be no head trauma.
You do not want your son playing
for what?
Yeah.
For what? So
Yeah.
he can get shit on by the suits?
Yeah.
So he can dedicate his life to an art and then get shit on by guys who never fought, who should be managing Applebee's and judge him? Fuck off. No way.
Brendan had a bad experience. As did a lot of fighters I've talked
No,
to.
that's pro sports, though.
It's pro sports.
He can play football.
Dude, pro
He
sports.
can play pro football because guess what? Let's say the 49ers want to cut Kaepernick. I don't know if you follow the NFL.
Yeah.
But let's say they want to cut Colin Kaepernick. That's fine. You've already paid him $36 million. He's going to be just fine.
Yeah.
All right. Now let's say the UFC wants to cut Diaz. He's made a lot of money, but not that much money. We can ride off into the sunset.
Yeah. See you later. Thanks for the 10 years.
Oh, thanks for dedicating your entire life to this sport. God, the commission said you can't fight her anymore. Sorry, man.
See you
But
later.
is it cool if we use you for the video games highlight stuff still? Because we're not going to pay you for anything.
So,
Take care, though.
So are you saying that the UFC or these organizations should pay the athletes like a pension?
It'd be nice. We're just not there yet. We're in, if it's the NFL, we're in leather helmets. You know what I'm saying? Like we're in leather helmets. So I don't know. I don't know what they should do. If I had the answers, believe me, people would hear about it by now. All I do is talk shit. But I don't know what they can do. But whatever we're doing, it's headed down a weird road.
Yeah.
Well, I think that when you look at fighting in its current state, MMA, it feels like the risks outweigh the rewards. I mean, I think that human beings work on an incentive structure, and you have to always think that way. People are going to behave the way they do according to what they get out of their effort. And I think right now the biggest issue with UFC and MMA in general is that you are paying a very big price, taking lots of risks, spending a lot of time training, etc. And even if you get into the top 5, the top 10,
top 15, top
15,
20, I've been ranked 15th, 13th, 10th.
And it doesn't do a thing for you. In fact, you're right now you're not going to be making much money. Certainly not,
especially
enough
with the new deal.
Yeah,
the new
certainly not
Reebok
enough
deal.
to live.
So they're not paying the fighters what they're worth.
No, not even close. Yeah, not even
Because
close.
they don't have it, or
no,
what?
they have it, but they don't have. They're a private company. The sport's so new, they don't have to. But so
also sponsorship. They signed a deal with Reebok, and so
limits your
fighters
money.
can't have sponsors in the ring, and they used to make a lot of money that way.
A ton.
And,
So, for instance, let's say the UFC Ultimate fight in 2 months, and I took the fight before this Reebok deal, I would have made around $120,000 in sponsorship money.
Wow.
Just now, I would make $10,000.
You can't have any sponsor on the
Zero.
shorts.
No.
Just the ones that they have.
And so what happens now is
who
that
paid UFC a big sum of money to be the official sponsor.
if you're a young, really great athlete, a promising wrestler or a promising boxer, whatever, and if there was a lot of money in MMA, you'd put them in the sport. But now you have people like Brendan saying, "My son's not going near that sport."
Mm-hmm.
Why? What is the incentive? There's no money. You're going to get head trauma. There's just too many risks, and it's not. Football's a very different story.
The problem is people see Conor McGregor, John Jones, Ronda Rousey. Little girls see Ronda Rousey, go, "I want to do that." My God, it's tough enough to make it to the UFC.
There are 3 people,
but to be the exception of the exception, to be the 1% of 1%ers who actually are these superstars who make a crazy living, it's just the juice is not worth the squeeze.
Yeah.
And to do that, because listen, if I'm the 52nd man on the roster of the Dallas Cowboys, I'm set, man. I'm doing pretty good. If I'm the 52nd ranked fighter in the UFC, I'm probably at 4 seasons waiting tables.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, what a lot of guys are talking about, they can't even afford a car or
Our
gas.
bro in San Francisco, he goes, "Man, I have to fight to pay the bills."
That kills me.
And I go, "Bro, hold out in your contract, negotiate more money." He goes, "I can't afford to."
Yeah.
What?
You'll sign whatever
I've
they
been
give
fighting
you.
for 7 years in the UFC.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
You'll sign whatever they give you.
You have to.
It's a monopoly. It's a tough thing. But I think that the UFC is going to have to, and probably are already talking about the fact that the incentive structure they've set up is not conducive to the growth of the sport. It's not going to get great athletes in there.
Do you think that's fighting though? Do you think that's like boxing? Like boxing, there's some crooked shit that goes
I
on.
do think
It's the
boxing
fight
has
world.
the same story.
It's an underworld.
It's the fight
it's a
story.
dark world.
You know what though? And I have to say, in defense of the UFC or boxing or anything, is that no, but I mean,
always does this.
no, football.
I don't know how Dana White does. It's a lot on his table.
Well, I don't know anything about. I don't know anything about what he faces. That's why I'm really careful. Like he gives me a hard time because I don't criticize.
No. I just want an opinion. I don't need you to defend Dana White.
I've already given you my opinion.
I don't need you to defend the UFC or Dana White.
My opinion is
right
I'm not defending him.
Because just as much as you don't
I
know
don't
to criticize
him.
you don't know to defend him.
That's why I'm not defending him. What I'm saying is that I've heard stories about pro football that are every bit as bad in a lot of ways. You
haven't though. You've heard those stories through me or through my friends.
Yeah.
But guess what? So let's take Alden Smith for example.
Yeah.
Alden Smith made $37 million. Now go on and tell your story.
Well, yeah, there's a marketplace that pays these fighters a lot more. There's not a marketplace to pay these, football players. Yeah, and I think because it's a new sport, yeah.
Treat me like shit, but if I have $30 million in my bank, go ahead.
Yes.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Well, what I'm saying is that if the UFC, I wouldn't be surprised if they're smart. The conversation in the UFC should be, hey, we're making a lot of money maybe for ourselves, and the fighters are getting zero. How long can you sustain that business model? How long until everybody who's a good athlete goes, I'm not fighting MMA. It's for chumps.
I don't think they care. I think you have
short-sighted.
I think you have businessmen leading the charge, and I think you squeeze it for as much as they can, and they'll sell it in 2 years.
But if you're a businessman, you're gonna want a viable product, which means you have to take care of your product, right?
But you're talking to.
I'm talking to you. I'm talking about.
You're talking to me, a businessman who's a good guy.
I'm not even talking about being a good guy. I'm talking about being a smart guy. The smart play.
I agree.
Right. The smart play has nothing to do with being a good guy. The smart play would be, I need to put money back into my business. And part of putting money back into your business is making sure fighters are compensated and happy with their jobs and see a future.
But then, so this is what you do. If I'm a smart businessman, but I'm a shark, I get my 10 golden ponies. I make sure they're taken care of, so they're not gonna cry.
That's fine.
I make sure they don't cry.
That's capitalism.
So then the other ones, they cry, but they really don't have a voice. No one's really going to hear them. They're not going to rumble any feathers. But these 10 golden ponies, who are the head of pay-per-view and everything, they're taken care of.
But that's every sport, isn't it? That's
No,
every
it's
company.
Not. No, it's not. That's not every sport.
Well, what I'm saying, boxing is certainly that way, right? I mean, a lot of boxers, they did this thing on how boxers, the average boxer who's a pro makes $6 grand a year.
That's the fight game.
Yeah, it's the fight game.
Not every sport.
Yeah.
NHL, football, any major sport is not.
Well,
like
let me
that.
ask you this: of all the fighters you know, and you may not be able to answer for them, but let's just say if you had to guess, if you took a poll of 10 fighters or 20 top fighters, do you think? And I'm a young fighter coming up, and I'm 18, and I want to be in MMA. What do you think those 20 guys are saying to me?
Which just 20 random fighters?
20 top fighters. What do you think they'd say to me? Would they say? What would they say? Like, because I would imagine that it'd be somewhere in the area of, oh, you want to be a fighter, huh? Well, do you think you can be a champion? Do you really believe?
See, I don't know if everyone thinks that. You should.
I don't know.
You know, I don't either. You should talk to a lot of fighters. I feel like I come from a different angle, right?
Yeah.
And my angle's not. I'm not a hater. I'm not a hater at all.
No.
I speak
You're
the
a realist.
truth. I'm a realist.
Yeah.
I speak the truth. Like, I had a fighter come up to me the other day who's starting to get into media, and he goes, "Wish I could do what you do, man. Wish I had the balls to speak the truth." And what you do, just fucking do it. Is nah, I wouldn't have a job. I'll get in trouble. Well, what do you mean get in trouble, man? You're in media.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Yeah.
So for me,
well, be fair and honest.
You got to be fair.
Yeah.
You got to be fair. But you're not hating if you're just saying how it is. If it was like, I can't hate on the NFL. I can hate on some of Roger Goodell's fucking antics, the way he deals with disciplining the players and all that stuff, and the Tom Brady stuff. Mm-hmm. But in general, he's doing a great job, right? So I don't hate on the NFL. I'm not hating on the UFC. I know from a very, very deep personal perspective on what goes on.
Yes.
It's not all fucking rainbows and Skittles.
No.
And so for me to say it, I'm not a hater. I'm actually sick of talking about it.
Right.
But if it helps someone out there, if a kid came up to me, like we had a kid at a restaurant who came up to me because I want to start fighting. Because I want to start fighting. What do you think I should do? You thought I was going to turn him away.
Yeah.
I told him, I said, start training, man. Take an amateur fight. See if it's even something you like.
Yes.
I said, because it's a rough road.
Dip your toe.
But if it's your passion, do it, man. Just know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
If you're doing it for money and fame, you're in the wrong sport. You're in the wrong business.
But isn't stand-up a little bit like that, minus the head trauma? I mean, how many stand-ups make money, right? I mean, how long did it take for you to start making the real money that you're making?
A while. I mean, did you put 10 years in, and
Easy.
you're not making any money?
Was there some days you wanted to quit?
Never.
No.
When I got into it, I said, listen, this is long term.
Yeah.
If I make it, I make it. If not, I don't. I mean, I believe if you set a time limit for yourself, you're setting yourself up for failure. You know, people say, I'm going to give myself 5 years. And then they leave because they didn't do well. Well, what if year 6 stuff starts happening? You know, you gotta go.
Also,
in.
with stand-up, I would tell them it's going to take 15 fucking years.
Yeah.
To be
Do you
really
think
good.
don't you think you two are the exception though?
We've just been at it a long time.
Yeah, but
I know, I get that, but you guys are talented. Listen, if a kid comes to me and he's not funny, God, man, I'd probably do something else. Maybe
There are dudes who've been doing stand-up for 15 years, never made me laugh once.
There's fighters who've been fighting for 10 years and never got to the big show.
Yeah.
And then I have friends who were fighting for 12 years and they finally got to call the UFC. They lost 3 fights. They got knocked the fuck out. Went 0-3. Then now they're, it's a reality check.
It's not for everybody.
So you've dedicated your life to this when probably you should have been over here.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes that to learn that.
Because if you have that dedication where you can stick to it for 15 years, man, that dedication in other fields could probably make you money.
Yeah, well, you got to be realistic. I mean, if you're a fighter and you're getting your head knocked in and day out and you're not winning, you got to go and say, listen, this is not working.
Yeah.
Just like when you go on stage, if people aren't laughing, you got to get out of there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Don't ride it out for 15 years.
Yeah, I mean, you have to give yourself some time to develop your footing on stage and make sure that you are, cultivating your craft. But after, like we know comedians have been in the game for years, and it's like, hey, go United Airlines. It's done.
United Airlines.
Done.
Go to
true.
Kinko's, my man.
It is true. It's like very hard for people to realize and look in the mirror and go, didn't work out. And I got to do something different.
But the thing, it takes that person to realize it. Because, man, I've been in some great teams and camps where there's this one guy where, man, he would show up every day. He was committed, kind of. You know, he thought he was going to make it. And I just wanted to look at him like, my man, I love you as a brother, but this isn't for you.
It ain't happening.
It's not for you.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's okay.
It is okay.
Unless you've been in LA for 15 years trying it and you still have never had a
But
job.
is it your responsibility to tell somebody that, or would you?
As a friend? But you know what the difference in sports and entertainment is? Mine's very black and white. Okay, you think you can do this? You're shitting in the training room? Go take a fight. You got knocked the fuck out? Probably not for you, because as an amateur and getting beat up like that, you're never going to be John Jones. Probably move on. Although Andre Arlovsky lost his first professional fight. However, he's the exception.
But you
in general, in sports, it's very black and white.
Yeah.
In football, listen, you try out for the team, you got cut as a freshman. Yeah, you're not going to be fucking Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
But in comedy or entertainment, man, I can go on auditions till I'm blue in the fucking face, and I can make up excuses. Whatever, there's the hate. I'll go to the next one. So you can keep doing it. So I think in comedy and entertainment, it's way worse.
Yeah.
Because we've seen you've introduced me to some people, and I'm like, oh my god, no, man, no.
The old actor Roger Forrester, who had his own show, he said, "Your career can be over in this business, and you don't know it for 20 years."
Wow. Another quote.
Another quote.
Another quote.
Amazing.
What a bummer, though.
Yeah, I'm full of quotes. Full of quotes,
What a
guys.
bummer, though, man.
Of course. Thoreau, one of my favorite Thoreau quotes. I see men everywhere hacking at the branches of evil, while none are striking the root. I'm just doing it for him.
No,
Just to turn him
Notice
on.
how I pop my T? Root.
Well,
You know, Brett,
it's almost like a period.
Yeah. Well, Brett Ernst calls your dick a root. This guy's got a decent sized root.
Yeah,
Root,
I've never
that's
heard that
intense.
growing up. Never heard that growing
Me
up.
neither. It's that kind of Brett Ernst.
never heard
We got to
that.
get him on the podcast.
That's an underground.
Let's go to current events.
Let
with
me drop
Evan
some
Bear.
knowledge first.
Oh, yeah? You got some knowledge for us?
Drop in knowledge. Now it's time for. Yeah. So, do you know that all mammals over 3 kilos pee essentially for the same amount of time?
For the exact same time?
Yes.
But that's why are you so excited about that?
You pee.
What if I drank more water than another
Nah,
mammal?
you basically pee.
We pee the exact same time?
You pee as
this
long
true?
as a cheetah, elephant, horse, chimp,
Boost, but sometimes
dog,
my
dog,
pees are longer or
large
shorter
dog.
than others.
How long is the average piss?
That's a good question.
Like-
Now, what do you think?
I'd say 48 seconds.
I'd say 12 seconds.
21 seconds.
That's it?
Yes. And all mammals.
That's a nice piss.
All mammals.
That's a nice piss.
On
At least
average.
we gotta pee. I gotta pee right
I
now. Dude, is there nothing better than a nice piss when
I
you gotta
know.
piss?
Guess what? Dolphins and blue whales. Whales. I think same thing. 21 seconds. A mouse, because it's tiny, pee in a microsecond. But anything over 3 kilos.
Really?
Yeah. These scientists. There's these awards called the Ig Nobel Awards, the Nobel Prize, but these are the Ig Nobel.
For sure, spend your time on more.
Here's another
stuff
one. Here's another really interesting
researching
one.
piss.
They figured out how to fucking reverse boil an egg. So if you have a hard-boiled egg, they figured out how to put it in a chamber and reverse the process so that it's raw again.
Wow.
What's
What?
that do though? What?
They
how's
just
that-
figured out how to think about that.
Is there
Think
any way
about
they
that.
spend their time doing
Dude,
something better?
It might have incredible repercussions. They figured out how to unboil a fucking egg. How to literally harden it, make it hard, and unboil it so it's
basically,
raw again.
Can it hatch?
I don't know, but
That
no,
would be
probably
interesting.
not.
See, that would be interesting.
Yeah, but
Now you're talking
but they
zombie
will
eggs.
be probably. But that shit's crazy. They figured out how to unboil them. And here's the third one that's amazing.
A lot of knowledge today.
They put a tail on a chicken, like a big tail on a chicken.
What kind of tail are we talking? Like
a
rat tail?
Nope, that's a good question. Like a dinosaur tail. Like
A lizard tail.
a big lizard tail. Guess
Don't
what?
say dinosaur
The
tail.
chicken, before, like in a very short period of time, started walking around like a...
T-Rex.
Yes! A T-Rex, you motherfucker. Good job.
Well, of course.
Hey,
So it started walking.
Yes, and scientists were like, you don't think chickens come from dinosaurs? Bingo. The birds, because I think you said birds are the closest relatives to dinosaurs.
Yes.
Yeah. That motherfucker was walking around like a T-Rex with his hands in the air and took to that tail like a fish to water.
Wow.
Yeah. More and more examples of, the fact that dinosaurs actually existed, ladies and gentlemen.
Of course they existed. We've seen
Religious
fossils.
people don't believe that. They believe God.
What?
But religious people believe that God.
Who?
Believe that God. A lot of evangelicals believe God put the dinosaurs on Earth to challenge our faith.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
It's called carbon dating, you fucking assholes. Carbon dating, you fucking assholes. Carbon dating. Just look at the fucking science. Math doesn't lie.
Well, have you seen they have dinosaur blood from just like Jurassic Park style, where the fucking mosquito landed on a dinosaur, sucked its blood, and then got stuck in like some goo, and they could extract the blood from the mosquito from fucking forever ago. And it's dinosaur DNA, just like Jurassic Park. Crazy, right?
Yeah. I've been trying.
Obviously, 100%, we're fucking dinosaurs.
100%.
Yeah.
I've been trying to think of a joke. I was going to be like, are you sure it wasn't the blood from, and I can't remember the old actor's name.
A dinosaur?
Yeah.
Like a super old guy?
Who was the guy?
Charlie Chaplin?
Hey, you fucking.
What,
he
bro?
died like so long ago.
I know, you said old.
No, but a guy who's still alive.
Oh, okay.
That's the joke.
Here, let's,
Shit.
hey, let's all figure this out.
Hey, Sebastian, just start
between the
fighting a
three
little
of
bit.
us,
You can be the
let's
fighter.
figure it out.
Yeah. Never mind. Dead joke, like dead joke. Dead as a dinosaur right now.
Robin Williams.
No.
Sorry.
Damn it.
God damn it.
What's a comedian? Dick Van Dyke. He's an
You
old
know
guy,
what?
right?
No, he died.
No, he's
No,
still alive.
he didn't, and I
He's
saw
like
in
90, isn't he?
Vancouver. In Vancouver, I'm being recognized by this guy who's looking at me like I'm Elvis in a Gap. Don't ask me why I was in a Gap. And I see Dick Van Dyke walk by with a guy, and I chase him down, and I just got to shake your hand because you're a piece of history.
Yeah.
And so here I am, and the guys behind me want to take a picture, and I want to take a picture with Dick Van Dyke. It was like a pay it forward kind of thing. That's how we roll. That's how us celebrities roll. They're different levels, a pecking order.
I bet Dick Van Dyke didn't even know who you were.
He sure didn't.
He didn't. He probably couldn't see you either.
No,
Did he have foggy eyes?
He looked fantastic.
He had foggy eyes,
great.
like an old dog.
Nope, he looked great. How old is Dick Van Dyke?
He's about 90, I think. I met him at the Conan O'Brien show.
Have you met anybody that really, like any celebrities that really kind of, like, was really
Starstruck?
exciting?
Were you starstruck at all?
Waiting tables, I did. I waited on Robert De Niro and Al Pacino.
Ooh,
Both of them.
That'll do
At the
it.
same time?
No, Al Pacino was alone, drinking a tea, and kind of in his own headspace. It looked like he was reading lines in his head. He was kind of focused.
So he's
and,
weird as shit.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't know what he was doing, but I was looking at him going,
Holy fuck.
"That's amazing."
Yeah.
I don't care if he's talking to himself or not. This guy's unbelievable. And then De Niro, I couldn't understand what he was saying. He was like, I said, "I'm sorry." He was wrong. We wanted more almonds. So we used to bring out like a little caddy for De Niro. I brought out a bowl.
You have to. It's De Niro.
It's fucking
De
Niro.
Niro. It's the dad from Meet the Fockers.
Yeah.
Well,
I know. I knew that would piss you
I
off.
was about to flip the fuck out.
You off.
Holy shit, I was about to
I knew that.
Oh my
I
God,
knew
you
that
got
would
me.
get you.
You got me.
I
You
knew
got
that
me.
would
I was
get
about
you.
to freak out.
You were what?
Wait a minute.
The dad from Meet the
Oh,
Fockers.
man. De Niro's
All
the
the
reason-
classic shit he's done.
Oh my God. De Niro's the reason I became an actor. Fucking saw Raging Bull, then Deer Hunter, and I went, I got to do that. Like, I want to be him.
You know who I was starstruck by? I came out here when I was living in Denver to do a MMA show, Inside MMA, and they had me in this hotel, and it was the first really kind of celebrity that I saw at the time. It's so stupid. I don't even know his name, but the guy from the Titanic, you know, the mean like boyfriend.
Yeah, Billy Zane.
Billy Zane. I saw Billy Zane with a Starbucks coffee, and I was like, "Oh shit! Oh shit! That's the dude." I didn't know his name. I'm like, "That's the guy from Titanic."
Big deal when you see a real actor.
It was weird,
Yeah.
man. And he had a hat on. He's dressed to the nines, and he just went like this. How you doing? Kept going. I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
Billy Zane in the
cool to
house.
see.
I don't think he's worked since, but
sure
Billy
hasn't.
Zane.
By the way, it dried up for him. Fucking acting, man.
Titanic, bro.
Dude, that's a good example of what podcasting and stand-up. If anybody wants to know why I have such a terrible relationship with acting, because it's such a heartbreak, look at Billy Zane. Classic example. Working all the fucking time. What happened?
You sure you just didn't walk away from the
Nope.
game?
I promise you 100,000% he did not walk away from the game.
Have you ever thought about getting involved in acting?
I haven't done really any acting at all. It's all been stand-up. And not that I don't want to, but it just hasn't presented itself in the right way.
Sure. Well,
who would you like to? What would you like to play when you think about it? A gangster.
I feel like with his voice, he could do a number of things. His look too.
Yeah. Besides a sex god.
Well, I mean, second, I'd go. I'd like to have my own TV show based on my life and my parents and my
Mark Maron style.
I'm
just saying now it's off his life. He writes it. It's his current life and his work,
very,
you know what I'm saying?
very.
Or Louis C.K. his show.
Yeah, something similar, but more of a sitcom, 3-camera with a live audience.
I'll write it up.
Sounds like you thought about it.
Well, I have. We have something at NBC right now. We're just waiting to see if it's going to go.
So
nice.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to do. But on the flip side, I wouldn't mind doing like some drama and some movies.
Yeah.
That's
you take my workshop. I'll get you where I will.
You got a workshop?
I got a workshop.
Huh.
Obviously.
Gotta bring some oil.
Yeah, bring some oil. We do some relaxation techniques. Please come dressed, no flip flops.
The three of us could write a movie.
Why not?
We could do a remake of Three Guys and a Baby.
Why isn't this a fucking movie right here?
Three Guys and a Baby. You ever heard of that movie?
Yeah, or 3 guys and a chick.
Yeah. 3 guys and some flip flops.
Yeah. 3 guys and 1 in flip flops.
Why do you have a disdain for acting?
Oh yeah, well, just because it's such a. I've worked so hard at it. You know, it's good. It's been good to me, but it's just so many heartbreaks.
He thought he was gonna be the next Tom Hanks.
Well, I didn't even know that. I didn't even think that.
Someone told him that.
I just didn't think
Whoever
that.
told you that
When you spend years in acting class and you spend years auditioning and you spend years really fucking trying, and it's not only does it not work out, but you see other people who are really successful and then they just it's like, see you later. You know, there are people that are famous as shit who you would know and were at the biggest top of their game who are broke, who don't have money.
That sounds like what, Brian?
Professional sports, brother.
That's why we're friends.
That's right. It's crazy.
So
and more than not. And I know too many famous directors who always say, if you wanna really experience humiliation, be a female actress.
I read a article this morning in New York Times that what is her name? Liv Tyler. I forget who it was.
Yeah, Liv Tyler.
Is she young or no?
She was in Armageddon.
Yes, her. She goes. She's 38 years old now. Yeah. She goes. A 38-year-old actress in Hollywood is treated like a second-class citizen.
100%. 100%. And
amazing.
try being 45.
Yeah, she goes, it's amazing the way that when I was 28 or when I was 18, 21, the way they would treat me compared to now. She goes, some people won't even talk to me anymore.
I know Renee Zellweger, and I know her pretty well. And not that I've spoken.
She threw
too
you a
much
birthday
about it.
party.
She sure did. And Renee is the same thing. Could you get it? You're not getting a better actress. She's won
Me, Myself, and Irene.
Two
Me, Myself,
Oscars
and Irene?
or whatever. Yeah, she can put it down.
Shark's Tale.
Yeah. Good luck now.
Shark's
Now
Tale?
she'll work, but it changes.
Bet
It
your
changes.
ass.
It fucking changes.
Well, what's she do?
When you're a man, and you've won all those Oscars, set for life. Set for life. It's just the way it is. Mm-hmm. And I know directors who are who have fucking famous actresses come in who've won all kinds of shit.
They don't care.
And they have to audition. They sit in the room. They come in and audition, and they go, "Thank you." And we'll see you later. And it's just humiliating. But it's being an actor.
Man.
It's being an actor.
Yeah. It's part of the game, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Jay Leno
the
said
kind of
that. Jay Leno said, keep doing stand-up. Not to me, but to Doe, I think. He said, keep doing stand-up.
He said it on Rogan.
It's 8 years, and you're the last chair. You're the first chair for a while. It usually lasts about 8 years, and then we'll see you later. As big as you are. It just... and for 1,000 reasons, if things don't work, like True Detective, I watched the new one, which was just not good.
Season 2?
Yeah, it was just not good.
Horrible.
And I hate putting things down like that because I know there's a
Me
lot
too.
of effort
I
that goes
try
into
to
it, but it's just
fucking help
terrible.
people, man.
But Vince Vaughn, who doesn't like him, and Colin Farrell. I like both those guys, but I promise you, it's going to be hard for those guys now to get the A-level work.
Because one job fucks you over.
Well, there's been a lot of jobs that haven't connected with. It's been a while. You go through.
Well,
a
Vince
lot of
known
time.
for he's tough to deal with on set is what I've heard. Not
Yeah.
from you, but I've heard that. I'm
Vince,
signed with CAA, so I hear some shit.
Yeah, and when you get a reputation, Vince is a guy that all of us would love. Like he's a real dude, and every guy would like him. But I think he has disdain for the business for whatever reason, and probably he has. It's like Russell Crowe had the same reputation. Once you get that,
God, what happened to
once
Russell
you get
Crowe?
that, oof, there you go. What happened to Russell Crowe? What happened to Russell Crowe? I'll tell you what happened to Russell Crowe. He was difficult to deal with, and so they put him on ice for about 3 years.
On
and then
ice?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're on ice. It's called movie jail. You be a pain in the ass. A couple of your movies didn't make money. You can be a pain in the ass as long as your movies are making money.
Yeah.
The minute your movies stop making money,
See ya.
we'll give you 3. You get 3 or 4 failures, and if you're difficult,
Can you blame
payback,
them though?
Payback
3
time.
or 4 failures
If
and
you
all
cost
these
movies,
millions?
if you cost movies money, if you delayed production, if you were just mean to the people, see,
I won't stand for that.
I had a fucking this psychiatrist, really smart guy. He's a really really good guy. He works with addicts and stuff, but he's really smart. And we were talking one time, and I was getting riled up, and he goes, "Boy, you're comfortable in that warrior energy, aren't you?" And I went, "What?" And he goes, "Nah, you're comfortable in that aggressive energy. You start talking and you kind of want to dominate." And I said, "Yeah, I like that energy." And he said, "That's good. It doesn't really work, though. You know that, right?" And I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "I deal with a lot of corporate guys who have that. And the problem is that when you come at somebody with a lot of warrior energy, because you might be stronger or bigger or more athletic or whatever it is, your dominant personality, if you try to do that to a man who can't really fight back at the moment, they'll log it away. They'll just fucking put it in the back and go, oh, I'll get you. I'll get you when I can." And that's what happens in fucking Hollywood all the time. You're a dick to people who can't really say much to you because you're a movie star and the movie's dependent on you. Just wait till shit falls. Just wait till, for 1,000 reasons, 3 of your movies don't work. Because when a movie,
3?
Alec Baldwin said,
3's a good run. If 3 don't work out, I'm with these movie execs.
There you
See
go.
ya.
See ya.
You're on ice.
That's what happens.
3?
There you go.
I'd say 2.
Well, okay.
3 bombs.
You're ruthless.
3 bombs.
Yeah.
Millions of dollars.
Well, you know what they
You're
say.
Not very good.
Remember, with Alec Baldwin said
One
the greatest
bomb,
thing.
fucker, you're no good.
Alec Baldwin said the greatest thing about movies. He said, if a movie is a hit, it's an accident. Why? Because there are so many moving parts.
Yeah. That's why stand-up is kind of unique in the fact that you go up, it's just you. If they come to see you, they come to see you.
Yeah.
If they don't, they don't. So it's all
You control
on you.
it though, right? Like
Well,
you're
it's
not
all
having
on you.
you're not having some producer or some big shot
Government bailouts.
network, telling you what to do.
No.
You're in charge of your
You're in
income. You're in
charge.
charge of if you go on the road.
But as soon as the people stop coming, you don't. Well, I mean, you work, but you don't work at maybe the level that you used to work at. You just that. But the challenge is to keep them coming back, right?
Yeah.
Keep them coming back.
They gotta keep coming. You gotta keep it fresh. You gotta keep it new.
What do you got, Ev?
All right, first current event for today. The CEO of Volkswagen, one of the biggest car companies in the entire world.
Yeah.
He has resigned because Volkswagen has been caught installing software on their diesel cars to help them avoid emissions tests.
Well, some of the cars have 40 times.
Yeah. So this is what happens. So
The
they installed
pollution.
this device where when you go to get your emissions done, it can tell that it's getting its emissions done, so it passes the test. And then as soon as the car gets on the road and it can feel the wheels turning, it disengages that device they installed, and then 40 times the emission of regular cars on the diesel cars.
Damn, and
40
I
times.
drive one.
Yeah,
Oh, you do?
Can I get out of my lease?
100%.
Really?
100%.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
So I can take that fucking car back
Hell yeah.
and go get myself a
Guarantee
Tesla.
it. Guarantee it.
Your
This is your out, bro.
Oh, that's done.
It's
your
awesome.
car runs on diesel,
Yeah.
W-
Turbo diesel, good car.
and you don't like it?
I like it, but I want a better car now.
You just want it out. But as far as Volkswagen, they're fucked, man. So homeboy had to resign. They say they're going to be charged something like $20 billion in fines. Something
Well,
silly.
more than that even. Something $38,000 a car. But now there's all kinds of shit going on, like criminal proceedings in Germany, France, the United States. It's nuts.
Wow.
It's
Screwed, man.
nuts.
Super screwed.
Well, somebody's getting in. I mean, you're talking about a company that employs 500,000 people.
Volkswagen's
500,000.
huge.
It's the biggest car maker in the world. 500,000 people work for it, and it's. I think that might be only in Europe. I'm not sure, but it's the biggest car maker in the world.
Wow.
And
They
it's
own a lot of other car
substantial-
companies,
Yeah,
too.
and remember, Volkswagen means the people's car, right? And unfortunately, it was
Ooh, they're so
started by
fucked.
the Nazis.
And they
Because
own-
once
they
you're
own-
tarnished like that, man, you're super screwed.
it is a huge. It represents Germany's economy. It's a huge stain on the German economy in a way. I mean, German products are always, they have guarantees. They're amazing.
I drive a Porsche.
Yeah, Daimler, Porsche.
Nothing better.
Yeah, the brand is guaranteed. So this is a huge.
Someone told me you drive a Porsche.
Yeah.
What?
The Panamera, the 4-door.
Oh,
one.
nice. I love that,
Jeez,
man.
you're making
Yeah,
some
it's
real
not
money.
It's
big.
a lot of Porsche.
Too big.
It's too big for you?
Yeah.
It's too big.
It's a big car.
It's a lot of Porsche, man.
How's that gas mileage?
I don't really drive it. I have a scooter that I drive. That's
A scooter?
Yeah.
I don't picture you on a scooter.
Yeah,
You know what?
me-
It's
me
very
neither.
Italian, though.
Yeah. I saw it in Italy. I saw
Vespa.
I go, these guys look amazing. Glasses, hair, leather, a Giorgio Bertini slip-on.
I'm not mad at that, bro.
And-
now I want one.
Wait,
Now
Giorgio
I want
Bertini.
one.
What's a slip on the shoe?
Yeah, with the tassels.
Yeah.
They looked amazing. I go, I gotta get a scooter when I get back. These guys look great. I get back to LA. I find out in order to ride a scooter or motorcycle, you have to wear the helmet. It's the law.
Aw,
So as you
that's
put the
lame.
helmet on, you're done.
Dumb and Dumber style.
My helmet, my head's so big, my helmet looks like a Martian cap.
Oh, man.
You pull up next to me, you're like, look at this idiot.
I want one now that you have one, though. I might be too big for one, huh? I look like an asshole on one?
Well, yeah, you need like a motorcycle.
Nah, I want a scooter.
You're too big.
You're too big.
You look like if you've fallen off it. Even the bigger ones. You what are you, like 6'4"?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way you can. I'm 5'10". Nice, right for the vest.
Italian.
But
you got an Italian
the
bone
helmet ruins
structure.
it, man.
Ah, fuck.
The helmet ruins
You
it.
have to have a helmet on in California?
Yeah, and the ones I can't find a nice helmet that they're illegal. The ones that like kind of like fit tight to the
Oh,
head.
really?
Yeah.
Why? They're not very safe?
They're not,
Not safe.
Yeah.
You got to have padding and stuff like that.
Look
so-
good, ride good, man.
You look like an idiot, yeah, but
You look
you know,
like an
better
idiot.
than head injury, you know.
But I tell
Better
you,
than brain
I'll
dead.
take my chances. I'd rather look good. I'd risk it to look good.
risk it.
So now you scoot around on your
Scoot around, go popping. Just I don't go on the highways. I took the car here.
You live where?
I live in
Hollywood?
West Hollywood.
Yeah, you don't want to drive that.
Yeah, I'm not.
thing.
I go to the grocery store with it, or the
Yeah.
gym.
Yeah.
It's I'm not going at high speeds. I'm very It's
like that.
listen, it is dangerous, but the parking you can't beat. You pull up right on the
Oh, I
sidewalk.
bet.
Right on the sidewalk.
Yeah, it's
Maybe I'll
nice.
get myself a scooter.
We
Get
should
yourself
get
a
two
scooter.
scooters.
Couple
Get a
Two
scooter.
Fire the Kids scooters.
Couple 1-2
Hey,
scooters.
if there's
huh?
a scooter company listening to this, let's do a deal.
Scoot around?
Fire the Kids scooters.
Scoot around.
Wow,
Couple-
you live in Calabasas.
couple cutie
There's
pies?
Well, we could just leave it here.
We'll get an office in Venice. When are we going to do that?
We do need to do that.
A Tesla and an office in Venice.
You're not getting a Tesla. Next question.
Damn.
Next one. Yesterday, the city of Los Angeles declared a state of emergency on homelessness.
What?
If you guys, yeah,
Too many homeless?
the homeless problem has gotten so out of control in LA. They're putting aside $100 million for the next year to help address the homeless issue in LA. I don't know if you guys, you're in Abbot-Kinney all the time. There are homeless people fucking everywhere in Los Angeles.
Not
right
on
now.
Abbot-Kinney, though, really. There's
Yeah,
a few
they
crazies.
get shoot off.
You know where they're not at? Marina Del Rey, where I
Yeah.
stay.
Yeah.
How
There are
was
a
that
lot of
over
them,
there?
though.
Nice.
The best, man.
Yeah.
The fucking best.
I'm
with the-
surprised
with
you
the-
live in where you do.
Where do you want me to live?
I don't know. I just figured you live near the
Why
beach.
can't he live
Too
there?
honky tonk at the beach, though, huh?
I feel like West Hollywood's it's too fast for me, man. It's too much going on all the time. It's too
much.
busy.
Yeah.
You like the
You like
Grove,
that.
that area.
I
Huh?
love the Grove.
Ooh, I love the Grove.
I used to go to the Grove so much. I thought they were gonna put a billboard up, Grove guy.
Grove guy. The Grove guy.
A statue of you
Just
in
you,
cufflinks.
the Grove guy like this.
They couldn't get the
Grove guy.
cufflinks right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right in front of the fountain.
is that Sebastian?
As far as fucking bums go, I don't know. What do you do? Could there be anything better being a bum in California? If I'm
Well,
a bum,
yeah.
I come here.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
that's,
you got to kill him. You got to put him on a
weather's
boat, kill him.
Hey man,
I'm just
hey
kidding.
man, I don't endorse this.
I don't know what the fuck you do with them.
Well, I came up with one suggestion. You come up with a better suggestion.
I don't
man.
know what the fuck you do. They're bums, man.
Yeah, Sebastian, how do you feel about that?
I feel it's a problem. It's a problem. It needs to be addressed. It needs to be taken care of. A lot of them have just down on their luck. A lot of them have
Mental
a mental
health.
problem.
Mental
Yeah.
health, man.
It's hard to kind of decipher what's going on with that, but it is an ongoing problem. I don't exactly know why. But
You sound like a candidate right now.
yeah, you know what? Listen, 2016,
2020, Sebastian.
Maniscalco.
How about
There's a dress code in the White House.
Hey, how about state of emergency? Let's relax.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
What else you got, Ev?
Yeah. I mean, it's probably a lot of what you were just saying. This is the greatest place in the world if you're a homeless person.
Yeah, it's always nice.
So,
people have money, so you're making money.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you come here if you're homeless?
I don't know.
Okay, so last current event. A report came out from Josh Gross, who's a pretty well-known
I like
MMA
him.
reporter.
I like that guy.
Yeah. And the whole thing is about a sketchy drug test from Vitor Belfort from UFC 152 when he was going to fight John Jones. Apparently, an email got sent out from like a UFC paralegal to like 30 people that were not supposed to see this sketchy Vitor Belfort drug test, which they then swept under the rug and allowed him to still fight.
Ooh, so the UFC
Covered it up.
covered up a bad drug test that the commission came out with.
How legit is this?
They hid it from the commission.
I mean, they have copies of the or Josh Gross published a copy of the lab result.
Oof. So they hid it from the commission?
Yeah, I think what their way of covering it is that the UFC granted Belfort a therapeutic use exemption, but those exemptions are supposed to come from the commission.
Correct.
Not the UFC.
Correct.
As far as my understanding goes.
Correct.
Oof.
So I'm not really sure how that whole thing works.
Well, I'm going to throw another fucking wrench at you guys. Vitor Belfort and Lorenzo Fertitta, who owns the UFC, are like this.
Good
They're
buddies.
like the fighter and the kid.
Oh, yeah?
They are best buddies, which is
If you tested
very
positive,
strange.
you test positive, I'd sweep that shit right under the rug.
Oh, me too. You
100%.
kill someone, I'll fucking help you
100%.
out.
He's just
I'll
doing-
help you out.
Fertitta's
There's
just-
about 3 people in the world I help
Fuck
out.
yeah, Fertitta's just being a good friend, and I respect that. But if you take a look at Vitor, was it surprising that he was doing?
Do you guys really think this is the first time this happened?
Yeah.
In professional sports?
Brendan, are you suggesting that other?
I have
tests
no
might
proof.
been-
I'm not
Yeah.
saying anything.
Yeah.
That's crazy,
It would
man.
make sense when you have. Look, let me put it this way: if there's a fight I'm really looking forward to, and somebody tests positive, you fucking sweep that shit. I want that swept under the rug. 'Cause I want to see the fight. I want to see the fight.
And he still
I
lost.
would 100% break the law. I would 100% do.
I wouldn't, because guess what? Now this happens.
Yes.
And now you're signed with Fox and Reebok.
Well,
so now you have
yeah.
mainstream sponsors. You know who wouldn't do this?
Oof.
The NFL.
Yeah.
Because there's too much at risk.
Yeah.
And there's going to be next stars.
Well, I want them
So-
taking the risk.
So you don't, though. Because if Vitor failed that, you can have someone else in line to
Yeah.
help him out. It was a bad move.
Yeah.
Again, you're thinking very narrow-minded.
Sure am. I sure am.
Big picture. Big
picture. If Aldo McGregor are fighting and somebody tests pops for that, I want that swept under the rug.
You're a bad person.
Yep.
What do you got, Evan?
That's all.
Let's get some fan questions.
Fan questions. Fan questions.
All right, we got some good ones lined up here. First one, Sebastian, what was one of the craziest nights out when you were on the Vince Vaughn Wild West comedy show?
Vince Vaughn Wild West comedy show, crazy night. What I liked about the Vince Vaughn Wild West comedy show is I went from waiting tables to being on a bus with Vince Vaughn and 4 other comedians, with Dwight Yoakam, Peter Billingsley, Justin Long, performing in 3,000-seat arenas. And then afterwards, we would go out. And this is the first time I ever got a taste of this. We wouldn't even use the front door. It would be backdoor kitchen stuff, Goodfellas style, every night with Vince Vaughn. And at the time, Vince Vaughn was huge, and he was dating Jennifer Aniston. So he wasn't really playing the game at all. He was just like Vince Vaughn was our wingman. He was just setting us up.
Wow.
Vince Vaughn was our wingman.
He was
That's a good
prince.
wingman,
Yeah.
dude.
That's a prince
That's
of
a
a man.
prince. So
He's a great guy, isn't he?
great guy, funny. He was naturally funny.
Yeah.
When you're around him, he pretty much dominates the conversation. You're not really saying much. You just kind of
Just listening.
He's the alpha male. He's the 6'5"
He's a
alpha
big
male.
dude, huh?
big guy.
I didn't know he did stand-up.
No, he didn't do stand-up. What he did is he hosted the show. It was kind of like a Johnny Carson in a live setting.
Gotcha.
Brought the comedians out in between. Had some.
Well, hold on.
musical
There's a
acts.
special on this, right? That was on
It was a
HBO?
movie.
It was a movie.
2008.
I saw it. I
it
fucking
came out.
saw
You
it.
saw that?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, it was a documentary about
Yep.
4 comedians on a
Yep,
bus
you were
with
one
Vince
of 'em.
Vaughn, and I was
Steve
like,
Byrne, you. Byrne.
no. It was Brett Ernst, John Caparulo, and Ahmed Ahmed.
Okay.
Steve Byrne did the the next tour after that, but it was never a movie. So we did this movie, and it was great. Came out in 1,000 theaters across the country. It was the first time I went to the Grove to see it for the first time.
Your spot.
My spot. Friday night, opening night. Get dressed up. I'm like, this is it. This is it. I go to the theater. I'm like, probably gonna get recognized.
Hoping. You're hoping. Really?
Sure, it happens now. This is the new reality.
This is the new
This
reality.
is your new reality.
You're an A-lister now.
I get the popcorn. I get the Coca-Cola. Go into the theater. 2 people in the theater. I go, what happened? It's over. 4 days it lasted. That's it. They took it out. By Monday it was gone.
Welcome to show business. Welcome to
Dressed to
fucking
the
show.
nines.
Dressed to the nines. They come out after.
2 people in the.
And that is so depressing.
So bad.
Oh man.
And it's true. It's what happens.
Yeah.
It's
It
fucking
was-
hysterical.
Yeah.
2 people.
slapped me right in the face. My father went. He was the only one in the theater in Chicago. He called me up. He goes, "No one promoted this. I quit my job. I thought you were gonna make it."
I fucking quit my job, man. I'm the only one in the fucking
No one
theater.
promoted this?
Oh, that's classic.
It's fucking hilarious.
What else you got, Ev? That's so fucking
I
funny.
dress up. I get
That's
my
a lot.
popcorn. Michael.
But no one promoted
2
this.
people.
Yeah, it's bad.
What does your family do with your success? When the Italians, when they see this special, and you get reports from the other family members and other people, right?
Well, family, friends, it's really different. Family, my father is my biggest fan, my biggest critic. He comes to all my shows when I'm in Chicago, and he doesn't sit down. He walks the room. He looks at people's reactions. He takes notes. He comes in the back
What
of the
a
room.
great guy.
And he gives like a note
Rundown.
Yeah, rundown. He goes, "What's why don't you do a Subway bit? Look at that. Can you just relax, be a fan rather than a father?"
Yeah.
Because he's always pushing me to write new material because people ain't gonna come back. They're not gonna see the same shit. You got to write new material.
right.
Yeah.
So he's always on my shoulder. My friends, I can't really tell them anything what I'm doing out here. They're 9-to-5 guys. They got family. They
Can't
got
relate
kids.
to it.
So every time I say, listen, I'm doing this or I met this person, I'm just saying what's going on in my life. I get, what are you bragging? What do you think you are?
I know. Yeah.
You know, it's like, I'm just telling you, I'm doing that, but you can't tell them.
That's the
nothing.
biggest problem with success and managing, your home, where you came from.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times they don't know how to behave. Russell Peters was talking about that.
Oh, is that right?
He hasn't changed, but everybody else has.
Well, everyone around you changes with success usually.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. I became friendly with J.J. Watt over the last few years. So friendly enough that he invited me and my wife to stay at his place while I performed in Houston.
Best
right?
player in the NFL.
A giant
Yes.
stud.
Yeah.
Best player in the NFL.
Great guy. Great guy. I call home to tell my buddies this. And now I'm getting texts. Would you ever sleep over with JJ? Yeah, it's just, there's no happiness.
No.
There's just a constant.
You have his sleepover. What's his dick taste like?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like, come on, man.
You help him lace up.
How'd you meet JJ Watt?
Through Twitter. It's funny. I'm 42, and you don't really notice how
So he's
old you're
gay. I
getting.
didn't know that. Keep going, yeah. No, it's fine.
Oh, we met on Grindr.
Yeah,
we met on Grindr. I was in the area. I met his radius.
Obviously, I take the bottom. I'm not doing a thing. JJ.
Yeah, he texted me on Twitter, and he goes, "Hey, man, been a big fan for a while. Saw you on the Vince Vaughn thing when
Yeah.
I was in high school." And then we started like, "Hey, man, I'm coming to Houston." He came to the show, and we just developed a friendship through that.
Nice,
but
man.
He's just a physical freak, isn't he?
just a large guy, and just, I mean, you look at some of the workouts
Amazing
this guy
play.
does.
Amazing
Yeah.
play. I'm a big fan. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else you got, Ev?
Big Brown. If you still want to fight, why not sign with Bellator? You can do work on those guys and get your sponsor money. I think it's a win-win rather than continue to fight for the UFC.
Oh.
They've answered that
Thoughts?
question.
Well, first of all, I get this question so much, so I'm glad you brought it up, Evan. It doesn't work like that. So I'm contractually still under the UFC banner. People ask me, go fight in Bellator, go fight Fedor. It doesn't work like that. I mean, under contract with the UFC. So whoever listens to the show, for sure quit asking me that question. I cannot go sign with Bellator. I cannot fight Fedor. There's none of that. I'm contractually under the umbrella of Zuffa, the UFC. So I can't fight for any other promotion. There you go.
There
Nor
you
do
have
I. Nor do I want to. I'm not fucking. I'm not. Yeah.
You're good.
I got a lot of shit going on.
All right, next one. Sebastian, did you end up selling the Porsche, and would you take Brendan on in a race, or at least take him on drifting on ice in an obscure European country?
Oh, I guarantee you, you have a faster,
Career 911.
Yeah, you would kill me. I have a V6. It's not the V8, so you would wipe me off the planet with your car.
Your car's a lot heavier, but it's different. Your car's not, like the Panamera. It's a lot of Porsche, man. I actually love them. I'm actually looking to get one too.
I would highly recommend you test drive it because after driving a Carrera, which is so tight and you could kind of look around, you get into that. There's so many blind spots.
I got a kid on the way though.
Oh. I see you in more of a
Tesla.
Don't say truck.
Tesla.
No, like an SUV.
Yeah, I could see that.
Maybe
I like that new Mercedes GLX. I'm a car
expensive.
guy.
Oh, it just came out. The one that just came out?
Just came out. Yeah.
It almost looks like
Oh,
a.
you're thinking of a GL.
Oh.
Hey,
Looks like
hey, we're gonna talk cars here. Can you
Excuse
just
me.
fucking
Hey,
stay out of
guys.
the way? You drive a fucking Passat, a shitty one at that. The emissions are all fucked up.
I'm polluting the planet.
Do you is the GL the one that looks like almost a BMW?
The GLX looks like the BMW.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it looks just like the X5 and
Yeah.
X6. Yeah,
You don't want that one. You want another
I
one?
want that one.
Oh, you want that
Yeah,
one?
I want that one. He's talking about the GL that looks kind of. People
the
say it's
boxy.
the milk.
The Whitney
car.
Cummings
Yeah,
drives.
Whitney Cummings
Yeah.
drives that. Hers is really nice. She has the G65 wagon.
Yeah.
Hers is ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't care about
You
those
have
cars.
no idea, but yeah, for sure. Your car's dope though. Nice car. What else you got, Ev?
All right, we got one more. We got one more, and we'll wrap it up. Now that Brendan has a kid on the way, have either of you ever had girls get pregnant before, other than Bryan and his marriage, obviously, or been hustled by women saying they were pregnant? And either way, what happened?
Like,
And how about a fighter and the kid name Brendan's baby contest?
for sure not naming my fucking kid.
Yeah.
Not letting the fans name my kid. I love you guys, but let's get real. You guys are crazy. The questions we get are pretty crazy. Have you had any scares before your wife getting girls pregnant?
What do you think?
I haven't.
I was an irresponsible young man.
I am too, but
when
never.
I say irresponsible young man, I mean well into my late 30s. Yeah.
I thought something was wrong with my junk because I've had my fair share of women and never scared.
Yeah.
No STDs ever. I've never had anything.
Yeah, well, you liar. But
Have
the
you?
thing is,
Not really. Maybe once when I was in college, the rubber broke.
yeah.
Is it people still call it rubber?
Yeah. I wasn't. Yeah. Did you have a boner? Was your boner in your rubber?
Was your erection in your
Was
rubber?
the turntable still playing? Did you get a new needle for your turntable and a fuse for your cannon? No,
I've never had any.
I wasn't a
pretty crazy
huge
scares.
condom wearer when I was a younger man.
No, I frown upon them. Those are for scaredy cats. STDs, you'll figure it
Come
out.
on, don't be a fucking baby. Take a pill.
I'm a risk taker.
Yeah.
Is that it, Ev?
That's a wrap, my man.
I got a story. I'll tell you something. When I was young, this was I remember this was a Friday, and I had 3 girls call me. This is true story and a crazy story. I think it was actually over a period of 2 days. I had 3 girls, 2 of whom I'd been seeing for a while, and another girl tell me that they were all pregnant.
In 2 days?
That they thought they were all pregnant. And you know what I said to all 3 of them?
We'll figure it out.
No, I said,
You're lying.
I promise you're not. I don't know why I said it, but I just said, I promise you're not. And I just decided I was just going to go with that story with my head. And I knew that it was going to be the weekend, and they whatever the case, and none of them were.
Well, they all had abortions, Bryan.
No. They turned out that they were not
They
pregnant.
all had abortions.
Hey,
You're
man.
a scumbag.
No, I'm not.
You're a complete
I said,
scumbag.
I promise you're not. I
Way
would've-
to end the show. You're a fucking scumbag.
I was young. It was 15
all 3 of them
years
had
ago.
abortions, and here we are now.
God, I've told I have no secrets. It's really crazy. I've told all my, I guess,
I've
well,
never
you
had a
guys,
scare.
it's funny. Sebastian, you don't know me that well, but we've known each other for years. You probably know a lot about me.
You knew he was a scumbag before.
Yeah, I mean, there's never been any, anyway.
Anyways, Sebastian, where can they?
Damn it, I'm a bad example.
Bad
kids.
guy.
Damn it.
Abortions and shit. Hey,
I didn't say they didn't have abortions. They weren't pregnant.
it's easy to put them together. I'm
No.
not fucking True Detective
What I'm
over
saying
here,
is
but
that
that's
they,
what happened.
I'm saying is that they realized they weren't, and I said, "I promise you're not," and
Nah.
then it turned out not to
You
be.
think all three just miraculously didn't get pregnant?
I don't
when
know,
all three
man.
thought they were.
Maybe they were so titillated with my power that they felt it was a false pregnancy.
Nah, abortions.
God.
Where can they find you, Sebastian?
SebastianLive.com. You could go there for tour dates. I'll be in West Palm Beach in November.
Oh, I love that room.
Nice room. And I'll be in Dallas at the Edison Improv in October.
You have anything?
Addison.
You have something coming up that I think I saw on your Instagram. You have something the 25th, 26th September.
Tickets just went on sale for the Wilbur Theater in Boston, January 15th. So you
Doing
can
the
get
Wilbur
those.
Theater.
Yeah, I love Boston.
It's no
Love
joke.
Boston. So
You're playing theaters now.
Going to a theater run in 2016.
Nice,
so,
man. Congrats.
Yeah, we're
That's
going to
awesome.
do that. And
And you have a podcast too.
got a podcast called The Pete and Sebastian
Is that Pete
Show.
Corielli?
Pete Corielli
Love
and
Pete.
I have been doing this for 2 years. I think we got about 200 episodes up. It's just two guys, similar to what you guys do, just kind of talking. No guests.
Nice.
And
Pete's
check that out.
good people.
Pete's
He's
a
a
good guy.
comedian too?
Yeah.
Pete's a comic, a good comic, and had a radio show for a long time.
Yeah, with Jim Brewer.
With Jim
Oh,
Brewer.
wow.
Funny dude.
He's a good dude.
And
He's
a good dude.
Good guy.
Awesome, man.
I'll
we
be at the
appreciate you
San Jose
coming on, man.
Improv
Thank you.
this weekend, 25th, 26th, 27th. Come out and see me, man. Come on, still some tickets left.
And you're gonna post on your Instagram.
Yes, right now. Sebastian, man.
First live Fighting the Kid, October 1st. That's next Thursday. That thing is sold out at the Brea Improv. The next one night only. It's November 12th at Tempe Improv in Arizona. Again, it's one night, one show only. Get your tickets now, tempeimprov.com, tfatk.com. You guys know the deal to get all your Fighting the Kid merchandise, tickets, whatever you need, updates with me and the kid, Bryan Callen. Live Hard shirts, USC Trojan Maroon and UCLA Bruin Gray and Blue drop this Thursday night. That's tonight if you're listening to the podcast right now, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, tfatk.com. Get them while they're hot. I want no complaints. You know they go fast. tfatk.com. This is the Fighting Kid. We're out.